A service of KIBMradio.com, the Internet's home for an all old-time radio.
There she is. That's Molly Goldberg, folks. A woman with a place in every heart and a finger in every pie. And now the makers of New Does. That new kind of soap for everything right down your wash line bring you another visit with those good folks, the Goldbergs.
Say, did you know I'm a fortune teller?
You don't look like one.
Oh, don't I? Well, just you watch me. Now, I simply gaze into this crystal ball and... what's this I see?
What?
Something new.
Well, tell me, what is it?
Comes in a big red and white box with the name D-U-Z, Does.
Well, what does?
Shh, the crystal answers. It says, Does is the first really new kind of wash day soap in years.
Well, what does Does do?
That's the big news. Does all three kinds of wash. From dirty work shirts, grimy towels, to your pretty rayon slippers.
Now, listen. Are you serious? Do you mean I can use this one soap for everything?
Of course I'm serious. That's where New Does is so different from any of the four other leading granulated soaps. You see, it's far safer for your delicate rayons and nicer colored washables. In fact, with Does, their precious colors stay looking fresh and bright far longer. You know, that's important in wartime, because now's the time you want such clothes to last as long as possible.
Well, that sounds wonderful. But what happens to those dirty towels?
Well, Does will show you just how really white your towels and linens can be. You've never seen whiter washes than Does gives you, because there just isn't another soap of any kind that gives you whiter washes than Does.
How much scrubbing does it take?
There's no hard scrubbing, no boiling either. Not even for those greasy work shirts. Honestly, you can't buy a soap that gets clothes clean easier than Does.
My, imagine this one soap doing so much.
Now remember, Does is Procter & Gamble's new soap discovery. Just try it. You'll see Does is not just a new improvement of an old soap, but a really new kind of granulated soap. Just ask for Does today. And next wash day, let Does do everything. And now, the Goldbergs. Jealousy is the one guest that no one could possibly want in a home. But at the Goldbergs, jealousy is being invited in, welcomed almost by Sammy's best friend, as a way of saving Sammy from his own feelings. As Mikey Broom watches Sammy, he begins to realize that the girl in the case is not just a minor attraction. She's the real thing. And what makes Sammy's condition desperate is that Emma is a cheat, a liar, a tricky, self-seeking girl who knows what she wants and is out to get it. Her apparent helplessness is the come-on. Her weakness is her strength. And while Sammy knows these things, his heart doesn't. So Mikey is taking steps like a chivalrous friend. And these steps are leading to all kinds of false clues. For instance, we'll take Molly and Jake tonight as they wait sleepless in their bedroom. Listen.
Jay?
Huh?
You're sleeping?
If you didn't wake me, I'd be sleeping.
So sleep. Jay? If you're not sleeping, I want to ask you a question.
If it's the same question, I already gave you an answer.
The lights are on downstairs yet, huh?
No, so, don't that answer your question?
You think Mikey is waiting up for Emma?
I do.
You think Mikey is,
You're afraid to say it? Say it. Oh, I'll say it for you. I think Mikey likes Emma. Yes. If that's your question, that's my answer.
I think it's foolish.
I hope so. Good night.
Good night. I didn't see one thing with Emma that I didn't like.
If Mikey likes Emma, is it Emma's fault?
I'm thinking of Sammy. Why, Sammy should hold it against Emma if Mikey here...
Sammy is thinking of Rosie. He don't want Rosie's feelings hurt.
No. My idea is that it's all nonsense. Maybe Mikey and Rosie had a lover's quarrel and he's trying to make Rosalie jealous.
Who does such things?
Who don't do such things, Jake? You did it. Don't you remember?
I
remember.
Who? When?
You don't remember who?
Jenny Schneider.
See how you remember? You remember when also, no?
Whose fault was it?
You thought it was mine, and I thought it was yours, so...
You want me to tell you a secret, Molly?
Yeah.
Now it can be told.
Yeah?
Nah, let it go. Now, after so many years, I should confess.
Why not?
Why, yes.
Why shouldn't I know?
What good will it do?
Even so, why shouldn't I know? You liked her really, huh? She liked you, I know.
Nearly, Molly. You wouldn't be today Mrs. Jacob Goldberg.
No.
Jenny wasn't bad looking.
Jenny was good looking.
Jenny was bad looking. She had a figure you could turn around to look at.
If Jenny Schneider's
Molly. Jealous.
Jealous.
Where are you going?
I want to see if the boys are downstairs, or did they just only let the light burn?
I'll go.
All right.
You mad?
Should I be mad?
Hey, Molly. Now I know you love me.
Look out, Sporty. What are you doing upstairs in the hall? Why don't you go down the kitchen where you belong, huh? Why don't you go?
Who are you walking to?
It's me, David.
Oh, Emma didn't come home yet.
No. David.
Yeah?
David, you tell me. You think Mikey and Emma...
Molly, don't ask me what I think.
But I am asking you.
And I'm not answering. Molly, I made a mistake. And
What mistake?
To bring Emma here. You gave her a job. You brought her into the house where young boys
What young boys? What you... Mikey?
Oh, I thought you were asleep already.
You was downstairs. You're going to bed now, Mikey?
No, I just want to get my cigarettes.
Oh.
Molly, no.
Yes, I'm coming, Jake.
Everybody's out.
I'm coming. Good night, Jake.
Good night.
Emma isn't home yet.
No, darling, I'm coming to bed. Good night to David.
Good night, Molly.
Good night, Mikey.
Good night, Mrs. Cole.
Mikey,
Yes, Uncle Dave.
where is Sammy?
He's downstairs.
Waiting for Emma, huh? Advise me, Mikey. You advise me.
Will you take my advice?
Yeah, let me hear.
Not a word to Mr. or Mrs. Goldberg.
But why should Rosie think that she like Emma when it's
That's
Sammy?
all right, Uncle David. I'll take my chances with Rosie. Let her think I like Emma, and let Sammy think I like Emma.
But everybody thinks.
Yeah, but you know and I know. Don't you see, Uncle David? That's the only way to get Sammy to wake up to what's going on.
So what are you going to do?
I'm going to show Sammy that Emma can like anybody, even me if I try hard enough.
But
just leave it to me, Uncle David, please.
I shouldn't say anything to Molly?
No, not a word.
And to Rosalie?
You'll spoil everything.
Oh, my fault. Why did I bring Emma here? Why?
If we're smart, it'll all work out all right. Don't worry.
Rosie?
Oh, are we disturbing you, Rosie?
No, I...
Go to bed, Rosalie.
I want to talk to Mikey, Uncle David.
Mikey's tired. He wants to go to bed.
Oh, no. I'm going downstairs to wait for Emma.
Mikey.
Go to bed, Uncle David.
Good night.
Mikey, we were friends long before we were anything else. If we can't speak openly and honestly about our feelings now, then what good was our friendship?
No, it all depends on what we have to say.
You mean what I have to say or what you have to say?
I don't have anything to say.
But I have.
Well, let's say it.
I will. You were here, Mikey, and you were my friend when I was all mixed up about Walter. Do you remember that now, or does it seem very far away?
I remember, Rosie.
You said that I couldn't love Walter. You said that I was fooling myself, that I was blinded by my infatuation. And you said that you loved me. And that if I would only think, I would know it was you I loved. Do you remember, Mikey? Maybe you don't want to remember that now that there's Emma, but you said you loved me, and I never answered you. But I sent Walter away, and I must have had a reason. Do you know what that reason was?
You got over him, that's all.
No, Mike. I realized how right you were. I loved you. And now I'm standing on the outside watching you. Maybe I should tell you that you love me and not Emma. Maybe that's true, but I'm not going to say it that way. Aren't you going to say anything now?
No, I'm not going to argue the point.
Argue it?
Or discuss it.
Discuss it?
I'm going down to wait for Emma. Good night, Rosie.
It's easier to plan noble sacrifices than to bring them off. And sometimes the means defeats the end. But a girl as tricky and lovely as Emma, means and ends may be confused. Say, it's fun, isn't it, listening to our friends, the Goldbergs, every day? It's become a mighty happy habit here in America, turning on the radio and enjoying your favorite programs. It's just one small part of the freedom we're fighting for today. A freedom that lets you pick your own friends, your church, lets you bring up your youngsters the way you think best. And now surely you're willing to give just 10% of your family's weekly income to keep this freedom, aren't you? Well, then tonight, gather your family around you. Make arrangements to buy war bonds and stamps regularly through payroll deductions or at your local bank or post office. It's really so little, just 10% each and every week invested in war bonds and stamps. When the war is won, you'll have your money back, plus interest. More money to enjoy the richer life victory will bring. Now, don't lose a single day. Do your share now to help win this war as soon as possible. Be sure to listen to the next episode of The Goldbergs. Mikey starts dealing out the hands in a fixed deal tomorrow. But he forgets that more than one person is playing. This is Clayton Collier wishing you good day for Procter & Gamble, makers of Does, the new kind of granulated soap for all three kinds of wash.
Countdown for blast off. X minus 5, 4, 3, 2, X minus 1, fire. the far horizons of the unknown come tales of new dimensions in time and space. These are stories of a future, adventures in which you'll live in 1,000,000 could-be years on 1,000 maybe worlds. The National Broadcasting Company, in cooperation with Galaxy Science Fiction Magazine, presents
X minus 1.
Tonight, Real Gone, starring Al Jasbo Collins. Playing, of all things, Al Jasbo Collins.
Oh, come in. Come in. Glad to see you. Albert here, your Collins friend. Just a minute. I'll close the door. You know, when you run a disc jockey show, the song pluggers just seem to ooze through the grain of the wood. There. Well, we won't be bothered for a while. Have a seat. I'll take this record off the chair. Hound Dog. Exclusive to me. Sung by Helen Traubel with the Vienna State Symphony Orchestra. Under the direction of Felix Weingartner. Now sit down. You do the writing for that Real Gone show on NBC, don't you? That X-1 with the rocket ships and the three-headed men from Mars and all that jazz. Well, that's why I asked you up. I ran into a little something. Just an idea, you know. I figured maybe you could English it up and use it. It's about a friend of mine, Ralph Therian. Did you ever hear him? He's an artist. I don't mean records or a musician. I mean an artist, a sculptor. I ran into him during the war. He used to sit in the barracks making busts of the sergeants out of GI soap. When they had him on KP, they couldn't trust him to peel potatoes. He'd end up doing caricatures of the captain and the lieutenants out of raw spuds. Man, he was the greatest. He got the whole company restricted for a week when we were stationed somewhere near Boston. It snowed, and he made a life-size statue out of snow and ice depicting the captain sitting in a howdah on the back of an elephant. The captain didn't mind so much, but the elephant happened to look like the regimental colonel, and he took a dim view of the entire affair. Ralph studied in France somewheres under the GI Bill of Rights, and I used to run into him once in a while on 57th Street. He's looking kind of hungry and desperate. Then one day, a couple of green weeks ago, I ran into him on Madison Avenue, and, man, he looked like he belonged. He had one of them Tyrolean chapeaux with the shaving brush stuck on one side, an important German loading coat, and he was carrying a snakeskin dispatch case.
Al! Albert!
Well, hello, Ralph, my friend.
Well, you're looking great, Al. Hey, I like that beard.
Thanks.
Kind of gives your face the Mount Rushmore quality.
It's generally admired, my friend, but what brings you over here on this street of dreams? I was under the impression an artist was immediately downgraded 3 degrees of integrity when he set foot on Madison Avenue.
I was just up seeing a client.
A client? You've given up the sculpting kick.
Oh, no, I'm just working in a new medium.
Well, you look real prosperous.
How do you like the shoes?
Oh, very dapper. Very dapper. I don't believe I've ever seen lizard skin huaraches before.
Had them imported. Made underwater by natives of Ecuador.
Yeah.
Takes about 3 hours to have them made. So they use about 12 natives per pair.
Ralph, my friend, you give the general impression that you are loaded with loot.
I am. There's money in art. Money. You've just got to get something new. Here, wait a minute. Let me open my case. Here, Al. Take a look at this.
What is that, an ice cube?
Look inside.
Now, man, that's real entrancing. What is it?
That is a detailed copy of Rodin's The Kiss.
Pretty sexy. How do you do it?
Well, you see, I carve it from underneath the plastic block.
Oh, it looks sort of solid to me. How do you get in?
Well, look at the bottom. You see that little hole? I worked through there with my engraving instruments. Of course, this is just a sample. I've been doing originals, mostly.
What are the little cubes good for? Paperweights, I guess, huh?
This is art, Albert, art. Do you know how much I get for one of these?
Beats me.
$5,000.
Oh, that's a pretty stiff price for a paperweight.
Well, you just don't understand, Al. This is the hottest thing since Picasso. I just sold 2 original compositions to Morgenstern. You know, the dealer from Philadelphia. for $25,000.
25? Wow.
Uh-huh.
I should have paid attention when Mama bought me that clay when I was a little boy.
Well, it's about time the creative artist got a little bit of recognition.
Recognition's not the point, man. At 25 G's, I wouldn't care if people walked past me in high noon.
That's because you're not an artist. The money's secondary.
Money is never secondary. Money is the primariest thing there is.
Al, would you be interested in a fine original composition?
Well,
I'll make a special price for you, Albert. $4,000.
No, Ralph, my friend. I keep my papers from blowing off my desk with my right foot and my left piled one on top of the other, and I find that quite adequate to the needs and aspirations.
Al, the trouble with you is you've got no soul.
The trouble with me is I have not got $4,000. This sort of thing is happening to me all the time. For example, I have a barber who plays unaccompanied Bach chaconnes with a 1/4-inch drill and a length of steel pipe. I figured Ralph Therian was stringing me until I ran into Vladimir Osepsky. Now, Vladi is one of these men who leads a double life. He composes concerti and avant-garde operas under his Square moniker, but he's better known in the Brill Building as Larry Oss. He got in on the ground floor of this rock and roll affair, and he took an already substantial fortune and ran it up to a fantastic munificence. Larry has money he hasn't even folded yet, and he collects art. I was up at his house one night discussing such things as Tin Roof Blues and Wozzeck by Albin Berg, and Larry got around to showing me his collection.
Now, this is Picasso.
Larry, that's what I call cool brushwork, my man. Cool.
I homed it next to the Tintoretto for contrast.
Well, this stuff runs into a pile of loot.
Well, I figure since I've launched rock and roll on an unsuspecting public, the least I can do is collect old masters and leave them to the nation when I die.
It figures. That figures.
Here's my latest. Look, isn't it beautiful?
You mean this hunk of plastic?
Yes. Look into it. That design, that composition, the delicacy of that line. Well, this is the most exciting discovery in art since the invention of red paint.
Larry, was this piece of Jim Crackery executed by one Ralph Therian?
That's right. You know him?
Mm-hmm.
Remarkable talent. Remarkable. A genius.
And how much did this stroke of genius cost you, if you don't mind my mentioning a crude thing like money?
Not at all. Not at all. It was a steal. I got it from Morgenstern. Oh, I outfoxed him. I got it from him for only $30,000.
Yeah, you outfoxed him, all right. Tell me something, Larry. What makes this worth $30,000?
Albert, what makes a Stradivarius worth $30,000 and a fiddle played on the street by a beggar? $3, huh?
You mean his stuff is that good?
It's art, Albert. This is art. This is genius. To work with such delicacy and such control and such genius in so small a space. You see, that's it. This plastic block is how long? About 2 inches? And yet within this 2 inches is the majesty, the feeling of a sculpture 20, 30 feet high. This is an art which has not been known in the world since the painters of miniatures in the late Renaissance.
Why, then it's for real.
For real. This is the gem of my collection. The Picasso, the Renoir, the Cézanne will, in time, fade into insignificance. This is a new art form. Brilliant. Brilliant. And now let me play a new record we're putting out. It's called I Love You, Baby, 'Cause Your Lower Lip Drags on the Ground. A real cool you-bangy beat.
Well, I let Ralph Therian's new art form slip my mind for a while I struggled with song pluggers, advertising salesmen, account executives from the agency. And I met him again a few weeks ago at a small cultural establishment on the corner where I work. You might call it sort of branch public library with a brass rail.
Hey, what's the idea of putting this lemon peel in? If I wanted a fruit salad, I'd ask for it.
How do you do, Ralph, my friend?
Oh, hello, Al.
You look like you're thriving, my man.
Well, as a matter of fact, I just signed a contract with Morgenstern to deliver $100,000 worth of my original compositions. I'm celebrating.
In here? Man, this place is only fit for sweating out the downhill phase on a manic-depressive psychosis.
Oh, I'm just starting here. I intend to work my way up. Albert, be my guest.
Well, I just had a difficult morning with the station manager who has an illusion in his little ricky-ticky mind that my program is the answer to Lawrence Welk and Guy Lombardo. He'd been trying to convince me to program 2 solid hours of Wayne King, relieved by vocals by Frank Crummett and Julia Sanderson. I had resisted, and I was in the mood for eating the lotus and forgetting. Several hours later, Ralph was feeling very confidential.
Albert, my friend, I like you. Why don't you shave?
Ralph, love me, love my beard.
I will try. Albert, you have the look of an Abraham Lincoln gone hog wild among the cream puffs.
Ralph, you have an artist's soul.
Albert, I trust you, I trust you, I trust you.
I am touched.
And so, Albert, I'm going to take you to my studio. My secret studio.
And I will reciprocate, my friend. Tomorrow, when I am doing my disc show, you may come to my secret studio. With the esteem that my program is held in today, tomorrow I'll be doing my broadcast from a small hole with a round iron top and plenty of running water below.
What time is it?
something.
I'm late. Hurry.
He took me to a loft somewhere down in the banana warehouse section. He had 3 locks on the door, and he opened them with 3 separate keys. I stepped inside and took a look around. The loft stretched a whole city block. The only thing that kept the New York Rangers from using it as a practice rink was the lack of ice. It was empty, except in one corner of the room there was a mess of machinery. Looked as if someone had eviscerated a television set and left it to die of shock. There was a weaselly-looking little man in a shiny blue suit standing in the middle of the floor tapping his foot.
Syrian, I've been waiting for half an hour. Where have you been?
Now, take it easy, Burson. Take it easy. Plenty of time.
I've told you the active life of the catalyst is only... Who's this?
This is my friend Al. Al Collins.
Well, who is he? And what is he doing here? I've told you we must have no one here.
Now, he's my friend. I trust him.
Oh, I suppose you've told him all about it.
Yes, I have. Have you got the stuff?
Certainly I have. 3 ampules, but it won't last. You've got to hurry. Roll up your sleeves.
Oh, now, just a minute, both of you gentlemen. If I've been brought down here to witness the inoculation of a little happy juice into somebody's arm, I'm leaving. I have no desire to tangle with the Federal Narcotics Bureau.
Now, Albert, do I look like I'm taking narcotics?
I wouldn't swear to it.
You don't understand. In those little glass bottles is a secret of $100,000. And I'm going to show you how I do it. First, we take a plastic cube out of my pocket. So. We put it down on the grid in the middle of the floor. So. Now, if you will kindly step to the outside of the white line painted on the floor. Back there. Go ahead. Now, Mr. Burson, we'll turn on the machinery. Now, I take this vial of catalyst, thus, and pour it over the plastic block. So. Now, we wait.
We stood there at the edges of that loft and watched that tiny plastic block sitting in a frame on the middle of the floor. And then suddenly it began to grow. In about 20 minutes, that cute little plastic block stood about 20 feet on its side. It almost touched the skylight, and there was about a foot of clearance on each wall.
See, the long organic chain of molecules in the plastic is infinitely expandable under the right conditions.
Is that a fact?
By applying the right voltages in series, we can expand the cube to about this size. But there's an outside limit due to the cohesive charge on the molecule.
Oh, naturally, of course. Those molecules do stick together.
Well, it's the catalyst that does it. And I make that. I make the catalyst. You hear that, Therian? I make it.
Now, calm down, Burson. Without me, you'll just have a great big blob of plastic. I'm the one who turns it into money. You see, Albert, a cube this big is as soft as putty inside. Now, I take my pneumatic drill and I make a hole in the bottom. And then my tools, and I start to carve my pretty sculptures inside.
Therian, I'm warning you. I won't take this kind of treatment for long.
Now, calm down, Burson. You're getting your 10% cut.
10%? 10%? Why, before I brought you this process, the only artwork you could get people to look at was mustaches on subway advertisements.
Burson, That is the typical wailing of the non-creative technician. Envy? Pure envy for genius. Now look out. I'm going under there and start work.
I want 50%, Therian. 50%. That's only fair, isn't it? I put it to you, Mr. Collins.
Just keep me out of it, gentlemen. Leave me out of it.
I'm warning you, Therian. I'm warning you.
Just get out of my way, grease monkey. Let an artist work.
Ralph crawled under the giant cube and started to work. I could see what he was drawing, a collection of lovely ladies, something like the closing number at the Union City Burlesque. Didn't look very good. The lines were kind of thick and muddy, had a kind of a soft and sloppy quality to it, just about as if you were carving in butter. Took him about an hour, and then he crawled out.
Just about in time. Well, what does it say on that watch?
You've got about 20 seconds left. You cut it pretty fine there, Therian.
It's all right. It's a masterpiece. Wait a minute. Okay, now. There she goes.
Well, now, what happened was that plastic cube that was blown up to about 20 feet on the side suddenly popped like a balloon with a cigarette stuck in it. And what ended up was that tiny little 2-inch cube sitting in the middle of the floor. Ralph picked it up and brought it over.
Look at it. Beautiful. Beautiful. The work of genius.
The work of science.
Makes a real nice paperweight.
Albert, my friend, what you have just seen was the creation of a $20,000 masterpiece. Take a good look.
I did take a good look. The whole design was there. But what had looked to me like kind of a muddy, buttery picture when it was 20 feet high was now sharp and beautiful and clear as a snowflake. I went back to the studio and demonstrated my independence by scheduling 2 solid hours of Dizzy Gillespie. The next day, I got a telephone call just before I went on the air. It was Ralph asking me to come over to the studio. Said it was important. So, after the show, I shook the last song plugger out of my lapels and headed down to Ralph Therian's loft. I found that fellow Burson walking up and down at the edge of the room, looking at his stopwatch nervously. They had another plastic cube blown up in the middle of the room, and Ralph was inside the cube working. They were having quite an argument.
I know you got paid off today, Therian, $100,000. I know you got it, and I want my share, 50%.
Don't bother me, I'm working.
Hi, Ralph.
Oh, hi there, Albert. Just a minute. Wait till I crawl out.
I warned you. You can't say I didn't warn you. There'll be no more of the catalyst, no more.
Listen to him, Al. That's why I asked you over. I wanted a witness. And you're the only one who knew all about it already.
Oh, now look, gentlemen, I told you not to get me involved in this.
Now listen. This little worm, this test tube termite, had the gall to threaten not to bring any more of that catalyst.
But I warned you. I want my share of that $100,000.
If you'll excuse me, I'll get back into that masterpiece. That catalyst is only good for 2.7 hours. Hand me the drill, will you, Burton?
Here it is. But I warned you.
Boy, the plastic is tough today.
All right.
Lower grade.
I warned him. He must have the money here somewhere. Yes, it must be somewhere. Bills. Your jack stubs.
What are you doing over there, Burton?
Looking. Just looking.
Well, if you're looking for that $100,000, you can stop. I've got it right here in my pocket. Now, don't bother me while I finish work.
What? Therian, come out of there. Come out.
I've got to finish just a little more.
Come out, you don't understand. Come out. Get out of my way, Mr. Collins.
With pleasure.
Therian, hand me that money. Quick.
Get out of my way, Burton. I'm working.
But listen, you don't understand. The catalyst.
Let go of me.
The catalyst. I made it up half strength. Give me that money. Quick, the money.
Well, that's all there was to it. I figured out that little fella from the plastic company figured he'd get himself a new sculptor when he made up that catalyst half strength. The two of them were in there when the roof fell in. The roof and the walls. Well, that's about all there is to it. Figured you might be able to use the story. I wrote a few notes on it. They're here somewhere, under the paperweight. Oh, would you like to see the paperweight? Little plastic cube about 2 inches. Look in there. Two fellows with their hands around each other's throat. Looks realistic, don't it? As if they were squeezing. Of course, this one's an improvement on the work Ralph Therian did. This one's in full color. You have just heard X-1, presented by the National Broadcasting Company in cooperation with Galaxy Science Fiction Magazine, which this month features The Victim from Space. A time to sow, a time to reap, a time to live. All the Agathians agreed with this, but not when it came to a time to die. Galaxy Magazine, on your newsstand today. Tonight, X-1 has brought you Real Gone by Ernest Kenoy, based on an idea by Al Jasbo Collins, and starring Al Jasbo Collins as himself. Featured in our cast.
Countdown for blast off. X-5, 4, 3, 2, X-1, fire. From the far horizons of the unknown come tales of new dimensions in time and space. These are stories of the future, adventures in which you'll live in a million, could be years, on 1,000 maybe worlds. The National Broadcasting Company, in cooperation with Galaxy Science Fiction Magazine, presents X-1. Tonight, we go forward in time to the days when war has been outlawed, and in its place, there is a system of carefully controlled, legalized murder. The story, The Seventh Victim, by Robert Sheckley.
Is that the mail, Jenny? Bring it right in.
No, it isn't the mail. You anxious, Stan?
Well, you know how it is when you're waiting for notification. It's been 2 weeks. The government's behind schedule, as usual.
Oh, that's always the way it is. Now, when you get to be my age, you won't worry about it anymore. At 73, you can afford to wait for the mail. Well, how about the ad? Have you got it done?
Sure, E.J. Want me to play it back for you? Of course, I recorded it myself. We'll have an actor in for the actual recording. You ready?
Go ahead.
Hi there, neighbor. When you're in a crowd, when you're among strangers, do you feel safe? Are you protected by that vital underarm area? You aren't unless you own a Protect suit. The finest tailoring in the world has gone into a Morger and Freeline Protect suit to make it the leader in men's fashion. Protect suit is the safest as well as the smartest. Every Protect suit comes with special built-in gun pocket, guaranteed not to bulge.
Oh, nice. Very nice.
A touch of the concealed button throws the gun into your hand, cocked, safety off. Why not drop into the Protect store nearest you? Why not be all safe?
Oh, that's fine, Stan. That's fine. That's a very nice, dignified commercial.
Mm-hmm.
And you can relax. I picked up the mail just before I came in. Here's your notification.
That's it. Look, from the ECB. That's the baby.
Oh, you're not going to open it now.
Oh, no, of course not. No one is supposed to know the victim's name except the hunter.
That's right. Have a good hunt, boy. You need a kill. You've been all keyed up.
Well, it's too bad you have to retire, E.J.
Well, I got into the 10s club. 10 hunts. That's not such a bad record.
10 hunts, of course not. 10 hunts, and then, of course, victim in between. That's 20 kills.
Mm-hmm.
I sure hope my victim isn't anyone like you.
Don't worry about it. What number will this be?
My 7th.
Oh, Lucky 7. Go to it. We'll get you into the 10s club yet. By the way, I got a circular in the mail. Maybe you'd like to use it.
Victims, why take chances? Use an O'Donovan accredited spotter. Let us locate your assigned killer. Pay after you get him. Oh, well, thanks a lot, E.J., but I got my own spotter. Very good fella.
Well, I suppose you're anxious to get home, open up, and find out who your victim is.
What's that?
Oh, shooting down the hall. I guess somebody got his victim. Good for him, eh?
You bet. Oh, it feels wonderful, E.J. I feel alive again.
Morrow's Garage.
Hello, Ed. Freeline.
Oh, hi, Mr. Freeline.
I'm going out on one, Ed.
Well, good luck, Mr. Freeline. I suppose you want me to stand by.
Yeah, that's right. I don't expect to be gone more than a week or two. I'll probably get my notification of victim status within 3 months of the kill.
Well, I'll be standing by. Good hunting, Mr. Freeline.
You be sure to save time for me now, Ed. I'd hate to be caught as a victim without a first-class spotter on my side, huh?
Oh, now, don't you worry, Mr. Freeline. I'll be right there in your corner. I've got a couple of good ideas for an ambush that I haven't tried yet.
Good. Well, I'll get back in touch with you right after the kill. So long.
Oh, Mr. Freeline?
What are you doing in my apartment?
Allow me my card. Emmanuel Gale, Emotional Catharsis Bureau.
What do you want from me?
Oh, just a standard spot check in reorientation. Oh, I see you've got your notification.
Yeah, that's right. I haven't opened it yet. Do you mind?
No, go right ahead. Yes. Anything wrong, Mr. Freeline? I mean, everything there. Photographs, address, description data.
Yes, but it says Janet Marie Patzig. Janet Marie? I've never killed a female. Is this an order?
Well, just a moment till I check my list. Yes, that's right. The girl registered with the board under her own free will. The law says she has the same rights and privileges as a man.
Could you tell me how many kills she has?
Well, I'm sorry, sir, but the only information you're allowed is the victim's legal status and the descriptive data that you've received.
Could I draw another?
Well, you can refuse the hunt, of course. That's your legal right, but you'll not be allowed another victim until you have served.
Women, always trying to horn in on a man's game. Why can't they stay home? Just doesn't seem feminine. Look, Gail, do you mind if I start packing?
Oh, no. Go right ahead. If you like, you can give me the historical checkout while you pack, and I'll just tick it off here on my list.
Well, all right. Where do you want me to start?
Let's see. Question 1, I think. When was the Emotional Catharsis Board established?
Well, the board was formed at the end of the Fourth World War or the Sixth. Depends on if you count the new Argentina War.
Well, either count will do. Go ahead.
Well, let's see. Weapons increased in magnitude, efficiency, and exterminating power. Soldiers became accustomed to them, and it looked as if another war would be the war to end all wars. Would you hand me those shirts, please?
Oh, yes, of course.
So, this time, the peace had to last for all time, but the government recognized the presence of a need for violence in a large percentage of mankind. They recognized the validity of competition, love of battle in the face of overwhelming odds, and these, they felt, were admirable traits for the race. So their problem was to arrange a lasting peace that would stop the race from destroying itself without removing responsible traits. I'll just get a new toothbrush in New York.
Very good, very good. All right, Mr. Freeline. Now, if you could run down the basic rules.
Well, anyone who wants to signs up with ECB for a fine legal murder. Then, of course, he has to take his turn a few months later, if he survives. The Emotional Catharsis Board picks the victims' names at random. A hunter is allowed 6 months to make his kill.
Armament?
Yeah. He's allowed to use a standard caliber pistol. He can wear no armor. Victim is allowed to wear armor and is allowed to hire spotters.
Very good, very good. Now, We don't have to go over the penalties for killing or wounding the wrong man. I'm sure you know all that. Oh, it's a beautiful system, isn't it? All the people who want to kill can, and that's about 1/4 of the population. Those who don't want to don't have to. At least there aren't any more big wars, just hundreds of thousands of small ones. Huh? All right, Mr. Freeline, you're checked out for orientation.
All the same, I don't exactly like the idea of killing a woman. But she did sign up, didn't she?
Yeah, that's right.
Janet Patzig in New York. Well, I'll be taking one of our Protect Suit specials. Have you seen one of these, Mr. Gale? When I actuate the mechanism, watch how fast the gun springs out at the ready.
Oh, excellent. It's excellent.
Ah, strange, isn't it, Mr. Gale? Each killing is a new excitement. It's something you just don't tire of, like a French pastry or women or drinking or anything else.
Yes.
And let's see, there. I guess that's it. Now a note for the milkman, and that's about all. Well, I'll be getting along, Mr. Gale.
Oh, and good hunting, Mr. Freeline.
Where to, Chief?
Carlton Hotel.
Carlton, you bet. Just get into town?
Is it that noticeable?
I've been picking up from the airport for maybe 10 years. I can spot an out-of-town killer by the way he carries his suitcase.
You wouldn't be working as a spotter, would you?
Oh, no. The Hack Bureau don't like it. This isn't your first kill, I can tell.
Yeah?
Yeah, guys on their first kill get too anxious. They want to drive right to the victim's address, walk right into an ambush. I'd say you had maybe 5, 6...
7.
7? Well, you haven't got too long to go before you get into the Tens Club.
You ever been hunting?
Nah, I can't afford it.
Look, I'll tell you what. If you can just drive me around the Chelsea area, I'd just like to look at the streets.
Aha, that's where your victim hangs out, huh? Sure, be glad to. You know what you ought to do, Mac? You ought to drop in at the Hunter hunting show at the Coliseum. They got everything. Bulletproof vests for victims, hats with bulletproof crowns. I seen an ad for a Malvern straight shot ECB approved. Carried a load of 12 shots with a deviation of less than 1,000th inch per 1,000 feet.
Well, it sounds like a fine gun.
And they got all kinds of trick things. You know, canes with 4-shot magazines, 45 caliber flashlights, all kinds of things.
Well, those kind of novelties are all right for the first time, but the old-fashioned ways are the best.
Hey, look at that. Somebody got it.
I missed it.
Nothing to see now. In about 4 minutes, the guys from the Department of Sanitation will carry away the corpse.
Yeah.
Well, this is the neighborhood, Chief. You want to give me the address?
No, I'll just drive around.
Okay, you're paying a meter.
Now, wait a minute.
What is it, Chief?
There. That sidewalk cafe, you see?
Yeah, shall I stop?
No, just drive slowly. There she is. Sitting at a table.
You mean the victim is a dame?
Yeah, she's just sitting there. She crazy, exposing herself in the open?
Boy, that's sure no way to stay healthy. Not when you're a victim.
Drive around the block.
Okay.
Well, she looks younger than her pictures. She looks sad. Wonder if she's been notified.
Ah, she's got to be notified, Chief. They can't send you your notice until her signed receipt gets back to the office. It's automatic.
That's right. Isn't she even going to try to defend herself?
Doesn't look like it. Here we come again. She's still there?
Well, all I have to do is just ride by in a cab and pump a bullet into her.
Okay, Chief, I'll go real slow. You be sure to allow for the motion of the car.
No. Park across the street.
Sure.
Both her hands are on top of the table. An easy, stationary target. All I gotta do is...
Say, that's some gadget. Hey, remember to roll down the window before you shoot that gun, huh?
Nah, it's an easy shot. It's too easy.
Look, mister, hurry up, will you? If a cop comes along and finds you shooting out of my cab, he'll give me a ticket for double parking.
No, it's too easy. All my other 6 kills have been hard. My victims have tried every dodge. One of them hired a dozen spotters. I got 'em all. I dressed as a milkman.
Hey, that's pretty clever.
Nah, this wouldn't be a trophy. Here, put your flag up. I'm getting out.
Okay. Going over to talk to her. She's your victim.
I know. It's too easy this way. Hello?
What?
Hey, look, if I'm being fresh, just tell me and I'll go. I'm an out-of-towner here on a convention. I'd just like to talk to somebody. If you'd rather I didn't.
Oh, I don't care.
May I sit down? Like to buy you a drink, if I can?
I don't care.
My name is Stanton Freeline.
I'm Janet.
Janet what?
Janet Patzik.
Well, nice to know you. Are you doing anything tonight, Janet?
I'm probably being killed tonight.
Oh, are you a victim?
You guessed it. If I were you, I'd stay out of the way. No sense getting hit by mistake.
Well, you're awfully calm about it. Don't you care? Haven't you got any spotters?
No. Mr. Freeline, I'm a bad, bad girl.
Huh?
I got the idea I'd like to commit a murder, so I signed for ECB. Then I couldn't do it.
Oh, I am sorry.
But I'm still in, of course, even though I didn't shoot. I still have to be a victim.
Well, why don't you hire some spotters?
I couldn't kill anyone. I just couldn't. I don't even have a gun.
Well, you got a lot of courage coming out in the open this way.
What can I do? You can't hide from a hunter, not a real one. I don't have enough money to make a disappearance.
Well, since it's your own defense, I should think...
No, I've made up my mind about that. This whole thing is wrong, this whole system. When I had my victim in the sights, I saw how easily I could... Oh, let's forget it. I'm glad you talked to me. At least it'll pass the time. It's been a lovely dinner. Just lovely.
I'm glad you liked it. I usually stop at this little place when I'm in New York.
Do you come in often?
Oh, on business. I'm in clothing, you know. What do you do?
Oh, I'm an actress. Well, that's a laugh. I'm not really an actress. I'd like to be an actress, but none of the producers seem to see it that way.
How old are you?
22. I've only been in New York for a year.
You know, you're really being very foolish just sitting out in the open that way. Why, you're a hunter. Could come along and just pump a bullet into you.
I know, but somehow I feel safe with you.
Oh. Say, Janet, would you like to go to the gladiatorials with me tonight? We got about 20 minutes. We'd only miss the opening numbers.
Well, I suppose so. Might as well, huh? Eat, drink, and be merry.
You know, I'm a little disappointed.
Why?
Oh, I thought the New York gladiatorials would be something special. It's about the same as Cleveland. Historical events, swordsmen and netmen, duels with sabers and foil.
Isn't there any difference?
Well, the duel to the death is the same in Cleveland as it is in New York.
You know, that's funny. I used to think the gladiatorials were very exciting. Now they just make me a little sick.
Well, you can get tired of the best of shows. Frankly, I think it was a mistake starting to televise the gladiatorials. It cut down on the box office for one thing, and for another, it just isn't the same as being right there in the stadium, you know?
No, it isn't.
Well, you want to stay for the second half? Let me see. They got, bullfighting, lion fighting, bow and arrow, and dueling on the high wire.
No, I've had about enough.
All right. Shall I take you home?
Would you please? Sit down. I'll fix you a drink.
Janet.
What?
You're crying, aren't you?
Oh, no, not really. It's just the thought that any minute from anywhere a bullet can come crashing into me. It makes me feel so soft and helpless.
You are soft. Oh,
Janet.
You're leaving New York soon?
I suppose so. Convention's only lasting another day.
I'll be sorry to see you go. Send roses to my funeral.
Janet.
What?
Janet, I don't want you to be killed.
There's not anything you can do about it, is there?
Janet, I love you.
Oh, Stan.
What is it? Please, darling.
But you can't love me. I'm a victim. I won't live long enough to...
You won't be killed, Janet. Listen to me, Janet, darling. I'm your hunter.
Are you going to kill me?
Don't be ridiculous. Darling, I'm going to marry you.
Oh, Stan, my darling. Oh, the waiting. I've been so frightened.
It's all over. Think what a story it'll make for our kids, huh?
Darling.
How I came to murder you and left marrying you.
Stan, kiss me. I think I'd better have a cigarette.
Let's start packing.
No, wait. You haven't asked if I love you.
What?
You haven't admired my cigarette lighter.
What are you talking about?
It's a lovely lighter, isn't it? With a small hole in the bottom. Just large enough for a .38 caliber bullet.
No, don't.
I'm not being funny, darling.
Janet, I love you. I told you I love you. What's the matter with you?
I don't love you, Stanton. I am a good actress, aren't I? Even though the producers don't think so.
You knew all along.
Yes, of course. Don't reach for that. Yes, darling. Well, now I can join the Tens Club.
You have just heard X-1, presented by the National Broadcasting Company in cooperation with Galaxy Science Fiction Magazine, which this month features Once a Greach by Evelyn E. Smith. The mildest of men, Iverson, was capable of murder to disprove Harkaway's hypothesis that in the midst of life, we are in life. Galaxy Magazine, on your newsstand today. Tonight, X-1 has brought you The Seventh Victim, a story from the pages of Galaxy written by Robert Sheckley and adapted for radio by Ernest Kenoy. Featured in the cast, Lawson Zerbe as Freeline, Terry Keane as Janet, his killer, Frank Maxwell as the cab driver, Ian Martin as Emmanuel Gale of the Emotional Catharsis Bureau, Irv West as Freeline's spotter, and Arthur Hughes as his business partner. Your announcer, Fred Collins. X-1 was directed by Kenneth McGregor and is an NBC Radio Network production.
When Captain Bradford decided to attempt to escape with the rescue boat which Johnson sailed to within a few miles of the Magic Island, Mrs. Gregory and the captain planned to send a code message to Johnson and have him standing by to help them when their fuel ran out. However, it was discovered that even though the captain's formula put all the chemists to sleep in the laboratory, the other Euclideans are very careful in their watch over the island, and the radio message can't be sent from the boat. Jerry and Joan take a desperate chance in going down into the lower levels of the island. And in trying to escape from one of the Euclidean guards, they are climbing down the inside of an elevator shaft when the elevator starts down after them.
Jerry, that car has passed the 4th floor.
Can't you get this door on the 6th floor open?
No. We must just go down as fast as we can and hope the elevator does not catch us.
Come on, then. Hurry up.
I am hurrying, Jerry, but that car sounds very near.
Well, if we have to, we'll yell and give ourselves away.
It would do no good. The inside of the car is so noisy we could not be heard.
Hey, Joan, the elevator stopped.
The guard is leaving the elevator on the 5th level.
He's gone now. Well, I guess he decided we were on the same level with the laboratory.
That does not seem right, Jerry. The guard would know we could not be on that level. There is something else happening.
Hey, what was that for?
That was a general alarm for the laboratory on the 5th level.
Well, let's do something about it.
There is nothing we can do, Jerry. But we must hurry to the bottom of this elevator shaft and try to reach the power chambers in the sub-levels.
Let's hurry it up, then. I'm getting mighty tired of playing tag up and down the blue steel ladder in the dark.
We have only about 40 feet to go now, Jerry.
Oh, that's nice. Just about 40 feet more down this ladder. What do we do when we hit the bottom?
There is a steel floor at the bottom and doors open on all sides of the shaft. I will show you which one to use.
I'll be glad to see any kind of a door that will open when we want it to.
If you would talk less and move faster, Jerry, we would soon be down.
Okay with me. Here goes for silence and action. Hey, you stepped on my fingers.
I thought you were going to hurry.
I'll show you some hurrying. Oh, boy. I'm down on the floor.
I will be there in a moment, Jerry.
Hurry it up.
Oh, Jerry, that was a long climb, was it not?
Sure was.
We will try this door directly in front of us. Do not use your flashlight, Jerry. We must only feel our way in the dark until we are in a lighted passage.
Okay. How do you open this thing?
Just push it gently, Jerry. It should be quite noiseless.
Well, I'll try it. Yep, it moves all right. Hey, look, Joan. There's a crack of light around the edge of the door now.
Open it very carefully, Jerry. It is possible there will be a guard stationed there.
I'll sneak it open. There it is. Now, that's open far enough to get out through. I don't see anyone yet.
Then it will be safe to go out into the passageway. Go on, Jerry.
Okay. No, not a soul in sight.
Close the door carefully. I think it is noiseless, but we must take no chances.
Right. There it is. Now where?
As you can see, this corridor or tunnel runs around the outside of the lowest level in the island proper. We are now 100 feet below the level of the surface of the island and about 90 feet below the water level.
And these power rooms we're trying to get to are still further down?
Yes, there are 2 sub-levels under us. The rooms we are interested in are in the first level, directly under our feet.
Then let's get going and do something about it.
We will go carefully and swiftly around this curving passageway to the steps which lead down into the power rooms. And then...
Well, what if we run into one of these guards?
Oh, there is no if, Jerry. We will meet one of them.
Oh, that's nice. What do we do with him?
We must put him to sleep with a ray gun.
Yeah, but what's he going to be doing all this time?
We must give him no chance to do anything. As we start to walk from here, you will walk in front of me. I will point my ray gun at your back as if you were my prisoner.
Well, don't forget, we're just playing that I'm your prisoner.
Oh, do not worry about that. When we meet the guard, I will tell him that I followed you down here and captured you. Then I will find some excuse to walk back here, and he will start the other way with you. That will give me an opportunity to use the ray gun on the back of his head.
All right. Then after this guard goes to sleep, what do we do next?
As this is a 300-second ray gun, the guard will only sleep for 5 minutes. In that time, we must go down into the power rooms, pass such other guards as we have to, shut off the power, and escape from this level.
Oh, and we've got 5 minutes to do all that in. Hey, what do we do in our spare time?
I think that will take nearly all of the 5 minutes.
Yeah, I wouldn't be surprised. Well, come on. Let's meet this guard and get it over with. Hey, that means the chemical laboratory again, doesn't it?
Yes, Jerry. Something very important is taking place there. That is the second alarm. And that means that everyone on the island who can is to rush to the 5th level at once.
Oh, how about these guards we've got to meet around here? Will that alarm also get them out of the way?
No, the guards will not leave their places for any reason. But the alarm will call everyone not on guard duty or in the confinement cells.
Say, how about those confinement cells? If everybody on this island is a Euclidean, why do they have to have those guards all over the place and so many cells?
There are a great many people here who are not really Euclideans. Captain Bradford was very near the truth when he said that many of the island people must be no more than prisoners. That is exactly what they are, prisoners, who are made to do all the hard work at the bidding of the Euclidean scientists.
They're not getting much action, whatever it's all about. Let's go and get this over with.
You walk a few steps ahead of me. I will hold this ray gun carefully trained on your back. Remember how you are to act as we meet the guard.
I got it. Come on.
We should meet him just around the curve in the passage. Say no more until we arrive there.
You will stand where you are. Do not advance another step. What are you doing in this passageway?
I am Cleostra. This man is my prisoner, guard. I am taking him to the General Control Chambers for questioning by the Euclidean Board of Governors.
Hey, now look here. I wasn't doing anything. I was...
Silence! What was this man doing here, Cleostra?
I was instructed to guide him to the chemical laboratory on the 5th level. He has an antidote for the sleeping gas which has overcome the scientists.
Oh, well, what if I have?
Silence!
Okay.
Proceed, Cleostra. What is this man doing here?
I took him to the 5th level as instructed. There he broke away from me and reached this level before I could overtake him. For some reason, he has refused to take the formula which he holds to the laboratory.
Why is that, fool?
Because if those Euclideans never wake up, it'll be too soon for me.
So, I think I...
No, not that, guard. He must be taken unharmed before the remaining scientists and compelled to deliver the formula. Then he is to stand close by and watch it compounded in the laboratory. This is to prevent any treachery.
That is well ordered. If he escaped from you once, how can you be sure of delivering him safely there now?
Oh, she can't be. It'll take more than a girl with a ray gun in her hand to take me anywhere. If she uses that thing on me, I'll only go to sleep for 5 minutes. I'm kind of tired anyway.
I have a plan, guard. You take this man to the scientists. Your ray gun will put him in a far different kind of sleep if he resists you. I will attend your station until you return.
It is well. These men in the laboratory must be revived at any cost. I will take him. Precede me, fool. And remember that this ray gun will put you to sleep for 1,000 years. Walk quickly. That way.
Okay, but you don't have to get so rough about it.
Silence! I will return soon, Cleostra.
That is well. All right, Jerry. You may turn around now.
I hope I can turn around. Yep. My neck moves anyway. Boy, when I heard that ray gun start crying up the back of my neck, I sure got a scare.
He will sleep nicely there for 5 minutes, Jerry. Now we must hurry on.
Boy, he didn't make a sound when he fell on this noiseless floor. Say, talking about making a sound, wouldn't they hear that ray gun down in the power room?
No, Jerry. The power room is not noiseless. It is another room that is kept deliberately noisy, so the human ear will learn to distinguish the sounds of the various machines and whether or not they are in perfect operation.
Okay, come on then. Let's beat it for the power room.
And when we get there, we will just have to walk boldly in. I know the location of the principal switches and valves. We will have to move rapidly. You must do as I tell you about everything you touch. Then our chances of escape will be a matter of seconds, possibly a fraction of a second.
Did you ever try to cut a second up into little pieces?
Of course not, Jerry. But a second does have an element of time within its limits, which gives the human brain scope enough to encompass a considerable flight of mental activity.
I got it. A second gives you long enough to think about all the other places you ought to be when the ray gun starts on you.
Come, Jerry, this is not the time for joking.
I sort of figured that out for myself.
Quiet now. There is the door of the power chamber stairway. We must descend one flight.
All right. Do I just jerk it open?
Yes. Open it barely a crack at first. We may see something of advantage. Slowly and carefully now, Jerry.
Gee, what a place.
It is wonderful, Jerry. There is enough power generated here to light a city in your world.
Boy, I believe it. Well, what do we do now?
Let me see. Yes. Do you see those 2 large valves at the foot of the steps to your left?
Yeah?
You will open those wide and do it quickly. I will open all the switches on the master panel in the center of the room. Then we must run madly back up these steps and out.
But, hey, you're going to take the dangerous part. You'll be farther from the door.
No, Jerry. It will take you longer to open the valves. Now, ready?
Ready?
Then we go.
Over the magic island of Euclidia, that weird, soft darkness of the South Seas is beginning to steal. It's after 7 o'clock in the evening, and the Gregory boat is to attempt its escape promptly at 8 o'clock. Jerry and Joan have gone down into the lower levels of the island to aid the escape by putting some of the Euclidean machinery out of order. In the radio cabin of the Gregory yacht, lashed to the boat which was to have rescued them all, Captain Bradford and Mrs. Gregory are making last-minute preparations for the dash to freedom. They are waiting for word from Jerry and Joan, in the hope that it may be possible to get a radio message off to Johnson.
I know all that, Tex, but why don't we hear from them?
Now, take it easy, Pat. Those kids left here at 6:30. It's only about 7:20 now. They've been gone less than an hour. Joan said it would take them over an hour to cover all the places they had to go on the island, even if they had good luck.
That's it. If they had good luck. Don't you realize all the terrible things that might have happened to them in the last 45 minutes?
Of course I realize what might have happened there, but...
They're down there inside that awful island somewhere, trying to upset the workings of a mechanically perfect fortress. Just 2 children against the most powerful scientific combination the world has ever known. Why, G47 alone is dangerous enough without...
G47 is sound asleep in his chemical laboratory, Pat. He can't do anything to harm those kids.
But he has assistants and guards all over the place, to say nothing of all the mechanical and electrical devices which automatically protect the inner workings of the island.
Yes, and don't forget that Joan has lived 14 years on this island. She has had the freedom of it as a child. She probably knows every nook and cranny of it, as well as the Euclideans themselves.
Tex, the alarm gong. It struck once, then 5 times. What does that mean?
I'm not sure, Pat. But I think the 5 strokes mean the 5th level of the island. That's where the chemical laboratory is.
Then it might mean that Jerry and Joan have been caught on that level. Perhaps some of the chemists woke up before you expected it, and they've caught Jerry and Joan.
You're just making that up, Pat. We didn't expect them back until just before 8. Joan said it might be necessary for them to remain hidden on the island, and only rush to join us here on the boat at the last minute. So we'll have to go ahead and make sure our arrangements are complete to shove off at 8. And just hope the kids make it as we're ready to leave.
Sorry, Tex. I let myself go, I guess.
Come in. Oh, Mac. Come in and close the door.
I've just come to tell you that all's been done that can be done about getting the other boat ready.
That's fine, Mac. Thanks a lot.
Everything out of the hold? All the supplies?
Aye. They're all transferred to the diesel cruiser. And it was no small job getting them through that hole down on the waterline.
How about that hole, Tex? When will we cover it?
We'll have to sail with it open. We'll leave this boat through the holes and cast off immediately.
That hole is very close to the waterline, Captain. We'll ship a lot of water going out through that swell.
Can't be helped. We'd be caught sure if we tried to cover it here between the piers. I've got a good temporary hatch we can slam in there. By hanging some mats over the hatch, we can be fairly safe.
Remember that we can't use the pumps, Tex. We'll need all the fuel to run the motor.
Yes, and then some. How far have we got a chance to get on that fuel, Mac?
If we slip out of here under sail and keep the sail up after we start the motor, we ought to make 75 miles. There'll be a brisk wind to help us a bit later, I think.
But if we're moving slowly enough for the sail to help us any, we can't make over 15 or 20 knots.
Well, we'll see what the situation is when we sail. Jerry and Joan may give us enough leeway so that we can take our time.
And again, supposing we are caught, we'll have to drag them aboard openly and run for it.
Well, in that case, we'll open the motors wide and let her row as far as the oil lasts. And hope we can get a message to Johnson before he gets too far north to run back to our aid.
Well, what does that thing mean?
We're not sure, but it's probably something about the chemical laboratory on the 5th level of the island, where the captain's formula put all those scientists to sleep.
Oh, now did you know it would do that, Captain?
Yes, and it should keep them asleep long enough to give us a chance to be many miles from this island when they wake up.
But it will also make them very angry when they do wake up.
That can't be helped, Mac. They haven't any love for us as it is. They've only allowed us the freedom we've had in the hopes they'd get another formula of Texas. And if we don't escape, they'll finally find a way to get it.
Well, I'll shove off to the other boat. Let me know as soon as you have news of the young people on the island, if you please.
We'll keep you posted, Johnson.
Oh, I wonder if we've really fooled anyone on the island, Tex.
You mean about Johnson being on another boat and our calling McLeod Johnson?
Yes.
I think so, Pat. Why should they think otherwise?
Jerry said that woman submarine commander knew Johnson wasn't aboard that boat when it arrived. And if she knew it, why not others on the island?
You know, I think Jerry was right about her. She's fed up with this island and these cold-blooded, inhuman machines who call themselves Euclideans. She wants to see our world and learn something of the natural, happy way we live.
That's all true enough.
I think we can trust her. The fact that she deliberately walked into that laboratory and let the gas put her to sleep so it'd help Jerry and Joan get away safely, all that proves her sincerity. But what I meant was, why couldn't someone else on the island have detected Johnson's absence in the same manner as herself?
Well, of course, there's a chance of all that, Pat, but we've got to hope for the best.
That was different, Tex. The gong struck 6 times then.
Yeah. I wonder what's happening on the 6th level. That was what it meant.
I'm afraid it has something to do with Jerry and Joan.
Oh, now you're letting your imagination run away with you, Pat. You don't know any more about what's happening on that island than I do. And that's not much.
That was 7, Tex. 7 strokes on that gong. That'd mean the 7th level. I know it's something about Jerry and Joan. They're being followed, Tex. I can feel it.
Steady, Pat. You don't know anything of the kind.
Did you hear it, Tex? 8. The 8th level. They are following them down into the depths of the island.
Stop it, Pat. Stop it. You're hysterical. You're just imagining things.
I can see them now, Tex. Just as if I were with them. Those terrible bells following them from floor to floor as they try to escape. That was 9, Jerry. The alarm has come to the 9th floor, just one above us. We must do this quickly.
Right, Joan. You throw these switches, I'll open the valves. Then we run out fast. Come on, kid. Come on, Joan. Run for it.
Coming, Jerry.
Gee, that room's filling up with water awfully fast. Were those men drowned in there?
No, Jerry. They can use airlocks and escape.
Okay, let's move fast. Where now?
That was 10, Jerry. For this floor. In a moment, the floor will be full of guards looking for us.
How can we get out of here?
Come, Jerry. We must run. I will tell you as we go. We must go back to the noisy elevator shaft.
But somebody might be coming down that way.
They will be coming down always. But I have one desperate hope.
Yeah? What's that?
Remember, I told you that there were doors in both sides of that elevator shaft.
Yeah? Right.
Oh, Jerry. We are here. I am breathing heavily.
Well, never mind. Breathing. What do we do?
First, we must open the door into the shaft, cross the shaft, and go out the other side. I know how to get from there to the top of the island.
Come on, then. Here goes. Now, we just run straight across the bottom of this shaft and out the other side, huh?
Yes, Jerry.
Hey, the elevator's coming down on us. We can't make it.
We've got to make it. Run across, Jerry.
Boy.
Are you all right, Jerry?
If I could get my heart out of my mouth so I could talk, I'd tell you.
We barely made it, Jerry. That elevator car touched my dress as I came through the door.
Can they get out of this door after us?
No, I have locked it on this side.
Well, that gives us time to breathe anyway. Now, where do we go from here?
We have no choice now, Jerry. We have shut off all the power on the island, except what is in the batteries in the radio chamber and one private elevator. The Euclideans can do very little to follow our boat when we escape.
When we escape? You mean if we escape?
But we will escape. But now come, Jerry. There's a long spiral ramp from here to the surface of the island. It is very steep, and it will be a long, hard, dangerous climb. But we must attempt it.
You mean that steel slippery thing over there? That looks like a chute to slide things down?
Yes, that is exactly what it is. The Euclideans built it so that supplies and materials taken from boats which had to be destroyed quickly could be shot down here to safety, as the island was submerged.
And we've got to climb up that corkscrew tunnel 100 feet straight up a thing that was made to shoot baggage down in a hurry?
Yes, Jerry. We will take off our shoes. I think the channel is narrow enough so that we may press our hands and feet against the sides and work our way up.
Okay, kid. I can stand it if you can. Gee, but you're the bravest girl I ever saw.
I'm happy to have you say that, Jerry. Hurry with the shoes.
Are there any doors in that thing? I mean, can anybody look into it from any of these levels and catch us as we go past?
There is only one other opening. That is on the 5th level. There is also a little platform there on which we may rest.
Well, that helps a little. 50 feet, then we rest. Then some guy sticks his head out a door and catches us resting.
We can only hope that no one suspects we are doing this.
I'm kind of worried about all those fellows we let the water in on, down in that power room.
They will all escape, Jerry. Each man has an airlock. They simply step into them and shoot to the surface of the island as if in a torpedo tube.
Well, let's start climbing this thing. Joan, listen. Isn't that the signal to submerge?
Yes, Jerry. The island will be submerged.
Then what happens to us? And your mother and Captain Bradford out there in that boat?
I do not know, Jerry. All we can do is hope and climb.
The Super Delicious Cereal presents The Adventures of Superman. Faster than a speeding bullet. More powerful than a locomotive. Able to leap tall buildings at a single bound. Look, up in the sky. It's a bird. It's a plane. It's Superman. Yes, it's Superman, strange visitor from another planet, who came to Earth with powers and abilities far beyond those of mortal men. Superman, defender of law and order. Champion of equal rights, valiant, courageous fighter against the forces of hate and prejudice. As we join him today, no trace has been found of Robin, who so suddenly disappeared from the Lordville Bank. We'll get further details in a moment, but right now, let's get some details from Dan McCullough on those nifty comic buttons. Okay, Dan?
You know, gang, after you've followed the adventures of your favorite characters in the funny papers for a long time, why, you feel almost as if you know them personally, as if they're old friends. And that's one reason why those nifty comic buttons are such grand prizes for Kellogg's Pep to be putting up. Because the pictures of your funny sheet favorites are real speaking likenesses. Why, you'd know them anywhere. Like Orphan Annie, for instance, with her curly blonde hair and bright red dress. Or Harold Teen, his hair parted in the middle and that big wide grin. Or Superman himself, complete with brilliant blue jersey and red cape flying in the wind. Yes, sir, these characters are straight from the funny papers. Done up in full comic strip colors, too, on gleaming white buttons that show off like anything when you wear them pinned on your jacket or your dress or cap. Now, there are 18 different pet comic buttons in the series, and you'll want to collect them all. So remind your mother to get you plenty of that super delicious whole wheat flake cereal, Kellogg's Pep. You don't have to send in any money, not even a box top, and you can't buy them anywhere. These exciting comic buttons come only as prizes in packages of P.E.P. Pep, made by Kellogg's of Battle Creek. Now, the adventures of Superman.
When Superman captured a miniature dirigible floating high above the Lordville Bank, part of the mystery of the superhuman bank burglar was solved. With Batman, he examined the gondola of the dirigible and found a motor-operated winch and a rope ladder. It was obvious then that the red-caped, blue-costumed burglar had created the illusion of flying by clinging to the trailing ladder and being swooped up into the air. But who was he? And more important, what had he done with Robin, Batman's young assistant, last seen battling for his life in the bank? As we continue now, it is early the following morning. All through the night, Superman and Batman searched the woods around Lordville, but found no trace of Robin. Now, in their guises of Clark Kent and Bruce Wayne, tired and worn, we find them with Inspector Henderson at police headquarters. Wayne, his eyes red-rimmed and his cheeks etched with deep lines of fatigue, makes one final impassioned plea. Listen.
Inspector, you've got to find that boy. You've got to move heaven and earth to find him.
I'm doing all I can, Wayne.
Oh, that's not enough. You've got to do more than you can. You've got to... Boy. sorry. What am I saying?
Easy, Bruce.
Kent, you know what I mean.
Yes.
You understand.
Of course I do, and so does the inspector.
It means everything to me.
Sure, we know.
You don't know, really?
Yes, we do.
Oh, you can't know how I feel about him. But believe me, if anything's happened to Robert...
All right, now don't say it. Because I promise you it's not true. Nothing's happened to Robin. He can take care of himself.
Would you mind my asking a question?
Oh, go ahead, Inspector. Sorry.
I thought the boy's name was Dick Grayson. Why do you two keep calling him Robin?
Robin's just a nickname for him. That's right, isn't it, Bruce?
Yes. I see. Well, let's go back to this case. Tell me your reason again, Kent, for not wanting the story of the dirigible released to the press.
Well, I don't want whoever's behind this false Superman to know we have the answer. Let them go on thinking we believe the real Superman is responsible.
What'll that accomplish?
Two things, Inspector. It may put them off guard, at least temporarily, and it won't stop them from going ahead with their plan.
What plan?
Plan I think they have in mind.
Oh, you think?
Oh, has there been anything wrong with my thinking up to now, Inspector?
What about your boast to bring in the phony or real Superman within 24 hours?
That still goes. But 24 hours have not elapsed yet, have they?
Well, I must admit...
That's enough. For you to admit anything is a victory. Right, Bruce?
What? Were you talking to me?
Oh, now, snap out of it, Bruce. The world hasn't come to an end. We'll find the boy all right.
I'm beginning to wonder.
Oh, nonsense.
Now, what about that plan, Kent? We've got to move fast in this case.
Well, the way I figure, all these petty bank burglaries with the stolen money sent to various charities is simply a cleverly devised plot to discredit me.
Discredit you? What have you got to do?
I mean, Superman. I'm so tired, I'm beginning to think I'm Superman. It's funny, isn't it?
Very funny. Go ahead.
Well, once they accomplish that and have everyone, including the police, believing that Superman has turned bank burglar, I think they plan to pull a really big job and hang it on Superman.
Sounds a little fantastic to me.
Yeah, maybe, but I can't see any other way of figuring it.
Yeah. Do you go along with Kent's idea, Wayne?
Kent's idea?
Didn't you just hear it?
Oh, I'm sorry, Inspector. I wasn't listening.
Now, look, Bruce.
I know. Snap out of it. Get hold of yourself. Pull yourself together. Chin up and stop worrying.
Well, sure.
But what if I can't? What if I just stand here watching that phone and waiting to hear it ring and hoping like I never hoped before that'll be a call about Robin. About his being all right. Is that criminal?
Oh, of course not. But
there it is.
Easy, son. Anderson speaking. Yes, Malloy. Checked all of them? I see. What about the Grayson kid? I see. Call me back. Right.
Any news, Inspector?
Sorry, Wayne. Nothing.
It's only 9 o'clock, Bruce.
Only 9 o'clock? Only 8 hours since he's been missing. That's nothing. Nothing at all, is it? Just time enough for him to take a stroll in the woods.
Now you're really going overboard.
Oh, I'm sorry.
About this big job you think they plan to pull, Kent, after they build up suspicion against Superman?
Yes?
What do you mean by a big job?
Oh, I mean something huge, something tremendous. No piddling $20,000 robbery, a really big one. And unless I miss my guess, it's coming soon.
Where? When?
If I could answer those questions, Inspector, I wouldn't be here now. I'd be telling fortunes at county fairs.
There's no time for jokes, Kent. If you really think they're planning a big robbery, I'd like to alert the entire force.
Well, that's fine, but it may not occur in Metropolis. It may happen in Chicago or Detroit or Los Angeles.
And you think this same guy, the one who broke into the banks, is going to pull it?
Uh-huh. As Superman.
You mean dressed as Superman?
Well, naturally.
Well, come to think of it, the guy must have some sort of superhuman strength. You saw those vault doors he ripped off?
Yes, but I don't think that's a matter of strength.
Now, wait a minute. My men checked.
I know. Your men checked for nitroglycerin, diamond drills, burglary tools, etc., etc., etc.
And they found nothing. Those doors were ripped off by hand.
I doubt it, Inspector. And so, incidentally, does Candy Myers.
Oh, what's that private gumshoe got to do with this case?
He was guarding the Somerset Bank for us last night. And this morning I asked him to hop over to Lordville and take a look at the damage. Hey, as a matter of fact, I told him we'd meet him there at 9:30. We better get going, Bruce.
Going? To where?
To Lordville. Do you remember we told Candy we'd meet him there?
I think I'll stick around, Candy.
Oh, no.
There might be a call.
Now, go ahead, Wayne. There is, I'll contact you in Lordville.
Sure. There's nothing quite so bad as waiting for something to happen. Do you good to drive over to Lordville. Come on.
Okay.
See you later, Inspector. Right.
Oh, wait a minute.
Yes?
I forgot something.
What?
That call I got a few minutes ago was about the dirigible.
Oh, yes. What about it?
The thing had a flying range of 300 miles. Every airport within 300 miles of Lordville was checked. Nobody ever saw it.
Uh-huh. I didn't think you'd turn up anything on that. They probably kept it in some old barn. Well, I'll be seeing you.
Right. So long, Wayne.
So long.
Let's go, Bruce.
Leaving police headquarters, Clark Kent and Bruce Wayne drive to Lordville, where they join Private Detective Candy Myers. The heavy steel door of the bank, which had been seemingly ripped from its hinges by the mysterious bank robber the previous night, is now leaning against the wall. Kent questions Candy about it.
Anything turn up, Candy?
Not a thing. The state cops checked all the fingerprints on the vault door. They all matched the bank employees. Our bird must have worn gloves. How we ever ripped the doors off, I don't know.
Now, what about that faint odor I mentioned?
What was that, Ken?
Why, last night I thought I caught a peculiar odor when I entered the bank after the burglary. It was almost bitter, like burned coffee.
I've been smelling all over the place. No soap.
Well, I may have been wrong, but it just struck me. Take a look at this door, Bruce. Look at the way the hinges...
Candy Myers.
Hey, what's that?
Calling
What?
Candy Myers.
A voice calling my name.
Yes, I heard it, too.
Calling Candy Myers. Come in.
That's Robin's voice. Where is he?
The walkie-talkie in Candy's car. Come on.
All right.
Calling Candy
All
Myers.
right.
Hurry.
Come in, Candy. Come in.
Let me have it, Ted, quickly. Okay, here. Hello, Robin. Robin, this is Bruce. Come in.
Oh, boy, am I glad to hear your voice.
Where are you?
I trailed the big guy here, the other Superman.
What?
I said
Never mind that. Where are you?
I'm about... Oh, I think they spotted me again. I trailed the guy to their hideout and they saw me. I got away, but they're looking for me now.
Robin, in the name of heaven, where are you?
About a mile south of Highway 17A. I can hear them coming through the grass.
What town are you near, Robin?
Right above the town of...
Robin! Robin!
Those were shots.
I know. Robin, answer me. Robin, come in. Robin! Robin, what happened?
Frantically, Bruce Wayne, alias Batman, yells into the receiver of his walkie-talkie in a vain effort to again raise Robin. What were the shots that knifed through the sensitive instrument? Do they mean what Batman thinks they do? We'll return in a moment to find out. But first, here again is your announcer.
The other day, there was a bunch of fellows and girls gathered together at the playground, and they were so busy comparing notes on their collections of comic buttons from packages of Kellogg's Pep that one mother told me that she had to call 3 times to get the kids to come home to dinner. Yes, sir, it's that much fun to collect these Pep comic buttons. Why, you don't want to stop. First off, there's the exciting moment when Mom opens a new package of Pep so that you can see which button is inside. Maybe it's a brand new one that you don't have yet, like Uncle Walt or Lillums or even Superman himself. Maybe it's a duplicate, and that's even more fun because then you can swap with your pals and still be one more Pep comic button on your way toward having all 18 in the series. And, of course, don't miss the thrill of wearing your whole collection pinned on your jacket or your dress or cap for everybody to see. But you know, the best part is, these Pep comic buttons are so easy to get. You don't send in a single penny, not even a box stop, and you can't buy them anywhere. All you do is to make sure Mom keeps you supplied with plenty of that super delicious whole wheat flake cereal, Kellogg's Pep. Just look inside the package for your exclusive prize. Remember, that's P-E-P, Pep, made by Kellogg's, the greatest name in cereals. Now, back to the adventures of Superman.
As we continue now, Clark Kent in his role of Superman, carrying Batman as extra cargo, is streaking above Highway 17A. For almost an hour, they have been searching south of the cement road in the vain hope of locating Robin. But by now, Batman has given up.
Oh, it's useless, Superman. We'll never find him. We've been over this ground a dozen times.
I'm not looking for Robin anymore. I'm looking for some sign of activity in the tall grass down there. Robin mentioned something about someone sneaking through the grass, didn't he?
Yes, but I...
Look at that.
What is it?
Down.
I don't see anything.
Look. In the grass.
Oh, it's a walkie-talkie. Hey, it's Robin. But... Oh, what are these holes in it? Do you think that...
Yes, Wayne. They're bullet holes.
Quietly, Superman identifies the 5 or 6 holes in the small radio instrument. There is no need for further explanation. Almost tenderly, Batman's fingers caress the box as his eyes grow moist and something catches in his throat. To him, this looks like the end of the trail. But is it? Gang, take my word for it. Tomorrow's episode goes at a mile-a-minute pace, so don't miss it. Tune in, same time, same station, and follow the adventures of Superman.
Faster than a speeding bullet. More powerful than a locomotive. Able to leap tall buildings at a single bound. Look, up in the sky. It's a bird. It's a plane. It's Superman.
Say, gang, this is Boy Scout Week, a time to think of the good things Boy Scouts are doing these days. For example, they're helping scouts overseas reorganize their troops, and they're helping on community projects here at home. They're working hard in peace as they did in war, our Boy Scouts of America. And also, fellows and girls, be sure to follow the adventures of Superman, brought to you every day, Monday through Friday, same time, same station, by the grand old Kellogg Company of Battle Creek. And for other thrilling adventures of Superman, see your local newspaper. Superman is also a copyrighted feature appearing in Superman DC publications. Say there, gang, have you heard? Kellogg's Variety is back. That's the grand 10-package assortment of 6 famous Kellogg cereals that makes breakfast so much fun. Why, it's like eating in a restaurant where you can choose from a whole list of your favorite cereals, each one in your own private package. And Mom's sure to be glad Kellogg's Variety is back. Show her how you can eat right out of the swell new Kell Bowl Pack. She'll like not having to wash dishes. So ask her to hurry and get Kellogg's Variety right away. And be sure to be with us tomorrow for the thrilling adventures of Superman. This is the Mutual Broadcasting System. Kellogg's Pep, the super delicious cereal, presents The Adventures of Superman.
Faster than a speeding bullet. More powerful than a locomotive. Able to leap tall buildings at a single bound. Look, up in the sky. It's a bird. It's a plane. It's Superman.
Yes, it's Superman, strange visitor from another planet, who came to Earth with powers and abilities far beyond those of mortal men. Superman, defender of law and order, champion of equal rights, valiant, courageous fighter against the forces of hate and prejudice. Today, the Man of Steel and Batman have found the bullet-ridden walkie-talkie belonging to Robin, but no clue to the whereabouts of Robin himself. We'll join them in a moment, but right now, here is Dan McCullough.
You know, I can't seem to figure out who's getting the most fun out of collecting comic buttons from packages of Kellogg's Pep, the fellows or the girls. I see the fellows busy as anything over at the playground, comparing notes on how many they've collected and swapping duplicates. Then, down the block, I see a bunch of girls ohing and awing over each other's collection and swapping duplicates. And I see a lot of girls' dresses and boys' caps and girls' jackets and boys' jackets sporting lots of these bright-colored comic buttons. So, you know, I've just about decided that both fellows and girls get a great kick out of collecting Pep comic buttons nowadays. And no wonder. Why, there's the doggone smart-looking, real, true-to-life pictures of such favorite comic strip characters as Periwinkle and Lillums and Superman himself. What's more, they're easy to get. You don't send in any money, not even a box stop. And you can't buy them anywhere. All you do is to make sure Mom gets plenty of that super delicious whole wheat flake cereal, Kellogg's Pep. Inside every package, there's your exclusive prize. So get your comic buttons, gang, from P.E.P. Pep, made by Kellogg's of Battle Creek. Now, back to the adventures of Superman.
Although Superman now knows that the mysterious bank robber who wears a costume similar to his own and is apparently possessed of amazing strength is not another superhuman creature, but only an impersonator of the Man of Steel, his problem is far from over. Because Robin, young companion of the famous Batman, has disappeared. In the village of Lordville, where Robin was last seen during a fight with the mysterious burglar, Superman and Batman received a message from the boy on a walkie-talkie radio. Robin said he had trailed the bank robber to a hideout and had then been discovered and pursued. He only had time to say that he was somewhere south of State Highway 17A when a fusillade of shots was heard, and the radio went dead. Carrying Batman, Superman scoured the countryside in the vicinity of the highway, and finally discovered Robin's walkie-talkie in the deep grass of a deserted field. The portable radio was riddled with bullet holes. Now, holding the black box in his trembling hands, Batman looks at it in dazed bewilderment.
Robin must have been shot.
We're not sure, Batman.
He must have been. Look, this walkie-talkie is full of bullet holes.
I know it is, but
he was talking to me on it when we heard the shots. He said they were coming after him, and they shot him. And
Easy.
He's dead. Robin's dead.
Now, don't jump to conclusions.
He is, I tell you. They had him trapped, and then they shot him.
Listen to me, Batman. Listen to me, please.
The
boy.
He's dead. Robin is dead.
You've got to listen. Robin may be all right.
How could he be? You heard the shots yourself. Look at this radio.
I know.
He was holding it, talking to me.
I know it looks bad, but Robin's a clever youngster. I won't believe anything happened to him until I see it with my own eyes. Now, come on, pull yourself together. We've got to look for him.
Oh, where'll we look? They finished him, and they took him away somewhere. Oh, those dirty rats. I'll get them for this. I'll make them pay for what they did if it takes me the rest of my life.
That's right. Get mad, then we can get to work.
I'll make them pay. I swear it. You hear me, Superman?
I hear you. Now, hang on to my shoulders. We're going upstairs.
Where?
Up where we can get a good view of this region. Are you ready?
Go ahead.
Okay, here we go then. Up! Up! Now, let's see.
You flew over here before.
Only near the highway. Oh, it's all open country to the north and east. Just farms and a few villages.
Well, a gang of murderers wouldn't hole up in a small village. That'd attract too much attention.
Right. Of course, they might take over a farm, but that'd be pretty risky, too. No, same kind of country to the west. Hey, wait.
What?
That patch of woods to the south.
It's pretty small to hide in.
Looks smaller than it really is from up here. Let's have a look at that. Away!
See anything down there?
Not yet.
No, I didn't think you would. My hunch is they made for a big city. Maybe Metropolis.
Well, I'll be... Look, Batman.
What? Where?
Almost straight down. And a little to your right. See?
Well, there are too many trees in the way.
Get ready for the shock of your life. Hang on now. Here we go. Down!
What? Robin! Batman!
Well, I see you two know each other.
And Superman. Listen, what happened to you up in the sky last night?
Never mind that. Are you all right?
Oh, I'm a little hungry, and I got a few ant bites in the cave where I was hiding. But apart from that, I'm ticking on all cylinders.
Oh, thank heaven.
But listen, we've got to go after the other Superman. He and his gang are up to something.
There isn't any other Superman, Robin.
That's what you think.
It was all done with mirrors, or let's say with a miniature dirigible and a long rope ladder.
Huh? Hey, wait a minute. So that's why that big ox walked all the way here. He was limping, and I...
Never mind. You know, you scared me out of 10 years of my life.
Oh, what's 10 years to a young buck like you, Pappy?
Well, listen to the insolent puppy. I ought to turn you over my knee and tan your hide.
What did I do? I know I let the guys get away, but there were too many for me, and they had guns.
You never should have gone after the bank robber alone in the first place.
Oh, I had to. You were out cold.
Yes, and you left me lying there in the bank vault. A fine pal you turned out to be.
I knew you were okay, just knocked out. Gee whiz, somebody had to go after the guy. I thought he'd done something to Superman. But now he got away, and his other 3 pals, too.
Wait a minute, Robin. You said you trailed the man to his hideout. Where's that?
It's an old, broken-down house just beyond these woods.
Well, what are we waiting for? Let's get over there.
Nobody's there, Batman. I can see it from here.
They scrammed right after that bank robber got there. First, they all ran out and kept looking up in the sky. Then they started packing up a car.
Mm-hmm. He must have told them the dirigible hadn't been at Lordville to pick him up. They were afraid it might have fallen into the hands of the police. Well, we may never find them now. Chances are they'll lie low.
No, they won't. They're up to something else. Something big.
They are?
What, Robin?
I don't know what, but it adds up to $50 million.
$50 million?
That's what I heard one of them say. A fat party with a fancy vest and spats. We're going ahead anyhow, he said. That was when they were packing up their car. There's $50 million waiting for us, he said, and we're going to get it tonight.
Tonight?
What else, Robin?
That's all. They spotted me right after that and chased me.
Oh?
I got away from them. That's when I called Candy Myers on the walkie-talkie.
Uh-huh.
Say, how come you answered, Batman?
Oh, we were with Candy in Lordville. Go on, then what?
They saw me and started popping at me like I was a clay pigeon. So I dumped the radio and made for these woods with them after me. I saw a little cave between some rocks, and I went in like a rabbit. I stayed there a pretty long time till I was sure they were gone. And then you two showed up.
Ah, so they're after $50 million, eh? Nothing small about them.
You said it. That's practically all the money in the world.
Well, not quite, but it's enough. Well, so I was right.
What about it?
They plan to pull their big job tonight, the $50 million one, and blame it on me.
Jeepers.
And that means the robbery tonight will have to be along the same lines as the previous ones. Only this time, the money won't be donated to charity.
But $50 million? Why, there's not a bank in the country with anywhere near that much cash in their vaults.
I know, that's what's bothering me.
Say, wait a minute, wait. Maybe our strong-arm friend is planning to break into Fort Knox.
Sure, where all the gold is.
Oh, I doubt it. Gold isn't negotiable now.
Well, then what's the answer?
I don't know, Batman, but we've got to find out, and fast. Come on, let's check their hideout. It's just barely possible they may have left a clue behind.
Come on, it's just a mile or two.
I know a faster way than walking. You get under this arm, Robin. That's it, and you get under this one, Batman. There we are. All set?
All set.
Let's go.
Up and away!
Leaping up through the woods with Batman and Robin in his arms, Superman streaks to the hideout of the mysterious bank robber. We'll bring you the tense climax of today's episode in a moment, so keep listening. But first, here again is your announcer.
You know, nowadays, when you read the funny papers, you're reminded of those comic buttons all the gang's collecting from packages of Kellogg's Pep. And when you take a look at any of these Pep comic buttons, you're reminded of your favorite characters' adventures in the funny papers. Because those pictures are so doggone true to life that, well, you'd almost think that you're going to hear the siren on Smokey Stover's fire engine, or hear Orphan Annie's dog Sandy begin to bark, or hear Superman's famous up, up, and away. You see, every single one of these pictures is an accurate reproduction of one of your funny sheet favorites. It's done up in bright color, too, on gleaming white enamel buttons that look mighty classy when you pin them on your jacket or your dress or cap. Don't you feel like strutting around when you sport these classy buttons? But remember, there's only one way that you can get these Pep comic buttons. You don't buy them anywhere, and you don't send in a single penny, not even a box stop. Just make sure that Mom stocks up on that super delicious whole wheat flake cereal, Kellogg's Pep. Then get your exclusive prizes from P.E.P. Pep, made by Kellogg's, the greatest name in cereals. Now, back to the adventures of Superman.
Arriving at the broken-down farmhouse, which had been the headquarters of the mysterious bank robber and his henchmen, Superman, Batman, and Robin searched it thoroughly, but failed to find any clue to the gang or the $50 million theft scheduled for tonight. As we join our three friends now, they are in the weather-beaten barn.
Not a thing in here either. This is where they probably kept their dirigible.
I suppose so, but that doesn't help us now. Can't understand. Say, what's this?
Huh?
What, Superman?
There's a map under this loose floorboard.
A map?
Yes. Wait till I get it. Now, let's see what it is. Uh-oh. Look at this, Batman.
Let's see. Oh, it's a map of the state.
Uh-huh.
What are those ink crosses on it?
They mark the towns our bank robber visited. See? Here's Glen Forest. There's Thomasville. Lynn Haven. There's Lordville.
Uh-huh. Just the way we charted them on our map the other night.
Right. Now we know why they followed the course of a rough circle.
Why?
Because the miniature dirigible had a short cruising range. And the big valley country below Metropolis, with the large villages situated around the rim of the valley, was just right for their purposes.
Oh, we know the answers to all the questions, except the $64 one now.
You mean the $50 million one?
Yes. Got to find the answer before tonight.
How? Where is $50 million? All in one place, I mean.
$50 million. Something familiar about that amount.
I wouldn't mind being familiar with it.
I wouldn't even mind being friendly with it.
$50 million. Seems to me I read about it somewhere. It might... Wait a minute. I think...
What?
It's just a vague thought, but if I'm right... Oh, I've got to be right. Listen, you two, we've got a lot of work to do, and fast. Come with me.
Where to?
Outside.
What's up?
No time to explain now. My hunch is right. We may be able to stop the biggest robbery in history and meet my impersonator face to face. Right, come on now. Under my arms with you two again. And keep your fingers crossed. This hunch has got to pay off. It must. Up, up, and away!
Leaping up from the deserted farm, carrying Batman and Robin, Superman rockets away into the sky. What is his plan to foil the greatest robbery in history and to capture his impersonator, the mysterious bank robber who is apparently possessed of superhuman strength? Tomorrow's episode is tense and packed with thrills and action, gang, so don't miss it. Be sure to tune in, same time, same station, for the adventures of Superman.
Faster than a speeding bullet. More powerful than a locomotive. Able to leap tall buildings at a single bound.
Look, up in the sky. It's a bird. It's a plane. It's Superman.
Fellows and girls, be sure to follow the adventures of Superman. Brought to you every day, Monday through Friday, same time, same station, by the grand old Kellogg Company of Battle Creek. And for other thrilling adventures of Superman, see your local newspaper. Superman is also a copyrighted feature, appearing in Superman DC Publications. Want to hear a scoop? A big scoop of Kellogg news? Well, listen to this. Kellogg's Variety is back.
Yes, Kellogg's have scooped 6 of their most famous cereals into this grand variety carton. One carton containing 10 separate generous-sized packages. So now it's easier for Mom. She just gets Kellogg's variety, and everybody at the breakfast table can eat his favorite cereal fresh from its own box. Makes breakfast more fun than a picnic. Ask Mom right away to get Kellogg's variety. It's swell, no foolin'. And be sure to be with us tomorrow for the thrilling adventures of Superman. This is the Mutual Broadcasting System.
Tired of the everyday routine? Ever dream of a life of romantic adventure? Want to get away from it all?
We offer you Escape. Escape, designed to free you from the 4 walls of today for a half hour of high adventure. Escape, brought to you by your Richfield gasoline dealer and the Richfield Oil Corporation of New York. Marketers of Richfield gasolines, motor oils, and other petroleum products. Look for the Richfield Eagle on the cream and blue puffs.
Tonight, we escape to the Old West in the story of a boy who never owned anything but a gun. As Joel Murcott tells it in his exciting tale, Sundown.
The sun is kissing the top of the mountains, and in a minute the shadows will start to sneak along the street. It's sundown, and you can't do nothing to stop it. Everybody knows that. That's why the town looks like a ghost town. Not a horse nor a rider in sight, not even a tumbleweed. Oh, there's folks around, all right, looking out from door cracks and windows. And now the street ain't empty no more. Here's what they've been waiting for. There's Kirby Hunsaker coming out of the saloon at one end of the town, and there's Ben Ford coming from a liver stable at the other end. Both of them walking towards each other slow, right hands hanging like claws, an inch from the gun holsters. In a minute, one of them will be dead. Kirby Hunsaker or Ben Ford. Little Ben. Nothing but a baby when I picked him up off of the desert 15 years ago. Hold up a minute, Sam.
What is it?
Over there, dried out hole, see?
Yeah, looks like a man.
Let's have a look.
Yeah, it's a man right enough, or what's left of him.
Oh. He's come a long way for water. Come to the wrong place. Give me a hand with him.
You alive?
I don't know. Yeah, he's alive. Can't he?
Here, friend. Swig this.
You better hold it to him.
Huh?
Son's got his eyes are blind.
Oh.
Drink it. Drink just a little bit of it. It ain't gonna help him much. Burn clean through.
Yeah.
That better?
Thanks. My wife and my kid.
Yeah, where they at?
Back there. Where I left the wagon. Animals died. I came for water.
Better give me some more, Dan.
No, he don't need it no more. All we can do is find his wife and kid, if there's anything left to find. There was something left. A sun-baked wagon in the midst of that hellish inferno, a dead woman and a kid. 5-year-old boy. His face is burned, his lips is cracked with fever, but his eyes stared out across that desert like they was following some nightmare that nobody else could see. He didn't cry, he didn't whimper, he didn't talk. We gave him water and he took it. Wasn't no place to send him. He just stood there watching us as we buried his mother.
Now, what do we do about him?
A kid? Take him with us, I reckon. Ain't much else we can do.
Well, ain't nobody on the ranch to take care of him.
No, ain't nobody here neither. He's like a little cactus, Sam. He'll grow or he'll die. He grew. Big, raw-boned kid, and by the time he was 12, he could handle a man's work. And I had a feeling for him, a feeling like he was my own. A feeling that could make me hurt when I looked at him.
Dan?
Yeah, Ben?
Do I have any money?
Well, yeah, I reckon you have. You work for your keep.
How much do I have, Dan?
Well, now, I don't know. It takes some figuring. But this is your home, boy. Everything that's here is yours.
Do I have enough to buy a horse?
Why, I reckon so.
Then I want my own horse.
See. All right, boy. Take your pick.
That 3-year-old black with a star in his face. I want him.
All right. You just bought yourself a horse. Yeah, he'd bought himself a horse, but it was more than that to him. It meant he had something that was his, come flood or thunder, something in the world that belonged to him and not to nobody else. It gave him a reason for being alive, and he started to build his life around that black horse. No horse ever got care like that. Ben had had the horse for almost a year when Kirby Hunsaker came. He rode in one afternoon while me and Sam was down at the corral. Ben was in town with a buckboard picking up supplies when Hunsaker rode in, just pounding leather.
Well, Mike. Well.
Howdy. Howdy. The horse looks like he could use a rest, stranger.
Needs shoeing. He'd be all right. I'll trade him and cash for a fresh horse.
Ain't nobody gonna ride a horse of mine that way.
Maybe you didn't hear me. I said I'm going to trade him. That means I'm going to trade him. My name's Kirby Hunsaker.
He said the name like it should mean something, and it did. Kirby Hunsaker, a name that was drifting all over the West with a trail of blood behind it. Stagecoach drivers and travelers carried it on their tongues, and he knew it. He had a face like a woman, and eyes like a steel trap, and there wasn't no glove on his right hand. It was brown and weathered from sun and wind, and it hung close to his right side like a claw, never more than an inch from the butt of his gun. A gunfighter.
If you're thinking it over, you're wasting my time.
Better do it, Dan.
All right, Hunsaker.
I'll take the black with the star on his face. Put a rope on him. I said put a rope on him.
Not that one. He ain't mine.
I ain't asking whose he is. Put a rope on him.
Any other horse, any one you want, even trade.
Get that horse and keep your hand away from that gun.
Dan, do what he says. You can give young Ben the Palomino. He's just a kid, and a horse is a horse. He'll forget about it.
No, he won't, Sam. He won't never forget it.
Pronto, friend. Put a rope on that black pronto.
There wasn't nothing else to do. Hunsaker saddled Ben's horse and just lit out down the trail. Me and Sam just stood there. We were still standing there when Ben brought the buckboard back from town. I watched his eyes go to the corral like they always did, and then he turned and looked at me and Sam like we was a firing squad.
Where's my horse, Dan?
I told him. His face was like stone, but there was a change in his eyes. They got back that same look they had the day I picked him up half dead on the desert. Lost and robbed and helpless.
You let him take my horse.
Well, that Palomino's worth twice as much, boy.
Not to me, Dan. The Palomino ain't mine.
Yes, he is. And I'm giving him to you.
I don't want him. I want my own horse.
Hey, simmer down, boy. You come back here.
Let him go, Sam. Let him go. He'll cool off. We might as well unload this here buckboard.
All right, I'll drive her on up the house.
Get up there, boy.
Hey, Ben! Ben, wait!
Hey, that fool kid ain't even using a saddle.
Crazy. He's going after Hunsaker. Huh? Hurry up, Sam. Saddle up. Hurry up. He was riding hard and light, and we was distant before we even got started. But we followed the cloud of dust that trailed after him. Then sundown hit, and he was lost somewheres in the night.
There ain't much chance to find him now, unless he stops and strikes fire.
He won't stop. Yeah, be a moon pretty quick.
Hey, wait. Listen.
Yeah, it's a horse. Oh. Must be over at the edge of that rig.
Hey, let's take a look. It's a horse, all right.
Looks like the roan the kid was riding.
Something else there, too, on the ground.
We rode up. There was another horse on the ground. And in the light of the moon, I could see the white star on its black face. Ben was sitting on the ground beside him. A few feet away was the body of a man. I rolled it over face up. It was an Indian. There was a bullet hole in his head.
What happened, Ben?
I don't know. This is the way I found him.
What's wrong with Star, Ben?
His leg's broken.
Oh, I must have stepped in a chuck hole.
Yeah. Then the Indian come by and Hunsaker give him a bullet in exchange for his horse.
Huh?
Tracks in the dirt there.
It's a good thing the boy didn't catch up with him.
Yeah, it is. That's a bad break he's got there, boy.
I know.
Ain't nothing you can do for him.
I know.
Well, now, why don't you just ride on back to the ranch with Sam?
Yeah.
I'll stay here for a while and catch up with you later.
You don't have to do that. Lend me your gun.
Oh, now, look, boy, let's ride off, you and me.
No. He's my horse, Dan, and I've got the right to shoot him.
Yeah, Ben, I reckon you have. Here's my gun. Come on, boy.
I'm coming.
Well, me and Sam will walk off a little ways, Ben. Give you a chance to just fall if you want to. Get it off of your chest.
I'm ready to ride with you. I ain't going to cry, Dan.
He didn't cry. He hadn't cried when I picked him up off of the desert, and he didn't cry then. But the tears was inside of him someplace where they couldn't get out. Never showed in his eyes, though. Something else showed there instead. It was hate. A hate like a pure white flame. I could see it burning there when we got back to the ranch that night.
What'd you say his name was, Dan?
Who's that? Whose name?
The man who took Star.
Hannigan, I think. Yeah, Jim Hannigan.
That isn't what you said before, Dan. I want to know.
Hunsaker. Kirby Hunsaker.
You better go in and get some sleep, boy.
Ben, you can have your pick of anything in the corral.
I don't want another horse.
Well, when you see something that you do want, you just holler it's yours. That's a promise.
Anything, Dan?
Anything.
All right, then. I'll take your gun.
My gun?
You promised, Dan.
I promise. Here. It's yours.
Good night, Dan.
Good night, Ben.
Why, in all my days, I never heard of such a lame brain thing as giving a kid like that a gun.
Now, he'd have got one somewhere sooner or later. And if I know him right, it's best to be soon.
Oh, he's only a boy.
13. He'd get to be a man fast in the next few years.
And we can hope for him to get better sense.
You're just wasting your hopes, Sam. I'm turning mine the other way. I'm hoping that Kirby Hunsaker don't never come back here.
Sometimes after years of scientific research, there comes a discovery that benefits everyone. Xylene is that kind of discovery. Xylene is a super gasoline component with one of the highest anti-knock ratings known to science. And today, Xylene benefits you whenever you use Richfield gasoline. Your car comes alive with new flashing power when you use Richfield gasoline with Xylene. For faster getaway in traffic, for new sustained power, for higher-than-ever anti-knock qualities, Richfield gasoline with Xylene is made to order. Get Richfield High Octane at regular price for the average motor. Or Richfield Ethyl. Ethyl at its best for finest results in the highest compression motors. Each Richfield gasoline contains Xylene. Each is a leader in its class. Tomorrow, get a tank full of Richfield gasoline with Xylene. Test it against the gasoline you're now using. Feel that Xylene zip. Stop where you see the Richfield Eagle on the cream and blue pumps for Richfield gasoline with Xylene. And now we return you to Escape.
boy and a gun. They were together night and day. Ben kept it with him in his sleep, not under the pillow, but next to his cheek, and you could see the red marks of the barrel on the side of his face when he'd get up in the morning. The rest of the time was belted around him. And when he wasn't working, he'd go off alone into the hills for target practice, and the target he used was an Express Company reward poster for Kirby Hunsaker. After the shots were all hitting the target, hitting close and fast, he stopped firing and was off on something else, a draw. I'd catch him at it in the house or in the barn, wherever he thought he was alone. He started to wear his belt different, too, with the gun holster tied low on his right hip and his right hand hung by his side like a claw. And it got more claw-like with the passing years. The rest of him had changed, too. He wasn't a boy no more. He was a man. We heard about Kirby Hunsaker. More and more we heard about him. His name had gotten big since he took a kid's horse. Got to be one of the three names mentioned most when the talk in the saloons turned to gunslingers. Jim Dunn, Boaz Watson, and Kirby Hunsaker. Killers for hire for any dirty job outside of the law. But all jealous of each other, all bound to meet someday and find out who'd be just a flick faster on the draw. And Ben had to be there the night a stray cowpuncher stopped in to rest his horse.
More coffee, stranger?
Thanks. Reckon I will.
Watered your horse. Sure needed it. You must have come a long way.
Yeah, from Goldfield. Been riding lucky, though. I come through Flagstaff just in time to see the fight.
What fight?
You mean you ain't heard about it? You must have been riding faster than I thought. You ought to have seen it. Never was a gunfight like it.
Who was in it?
Two of the best. Big Jim Dunn and Kirby Hunsaker.
Ben grabbed the edge of the table and his face got as white as borax, like a lead bullet had hit him in the gut.
Which one of them got it?
I prayed for the right answer. The answer that would have been right for me, not the one that Ben wanted.
Oh, Hunsaker beat him. Dunn never cleared his holster.
Color come back into Ben's face, and that pure white flame I hate burned in his eyes again.
Hunsaker got the draw on Big Jim Dunn?
Oh, yeah. I wish I could have stayed in Flagstaff. Boaz Watson someplace in the territory, too. And as soon as he gets wind of it, he'll be on Hunsaker's trail for a showdown.
Well, if Dunn never cleared his holster, then the man ain't born that can outdraw Hunsaker.
Boaz Watson thinks he can. He's been itching for the chance.
It's a chance he ain't going to get.
Ben, where are you going to?
Just thought I'd take a little ride, Dan.
Flagstaff?
Flagstaff, Dan. And don't try to stop me.
Trying to stop him would have been like trying to stop an avalanche, but he couldn't stop me from following neither. He rode day and night, trading mounts on the way, and I was an hour behind him when he reached Flagstaff on the third morning of his ride and started his hunt. He tried the hotel, the express office, and one by one the saloons, asking the questions and seeing faces go blank. He was easy to find when I got to town. He left a trail of questions behind him, and I found him in the last saloon on the street, still asking.
Did you hear what I asked you, bartender?
Yeah, I heard. How should I know?
Does he ever come in here?
Well, I just serve drinks. I don't watch who comes and goes.
I'm tired of walking and I'm tired of talking. I want an answer.
Well, I reckon he comes in sometimes.
When?
Usually about an hour from now.
Good. I'll wait.
Gonna buy me a drink, Ben?
If that's what you came for, Dan.
Been rough trailing you, boy. Men and horses ain't meant to be pushed that hard.
I was in a hurry.
Well, maybe we can take it easier going back. Maybe if we left right now, we could camp out someplace tonight like we used to.
Ask me later, Dan. This is something I gotta do first.
He wouldn't drink and he wouldn't leave. He just stood there waiting, looking at nothing. He might have been carved out of rock. There wasn't a nerve in him. And then I heard the door swing the way it had a couple of times before, only this time it was different. The talk around the table's cut out. The bartender's hands tightened around the glass he'd been wiping. Every head in the place turned towards the door. It was Kirby Hunsaker. I knew that place. It'd grown heavier and crueler, but I knew it. He stood there in the doorway while them bear-trap eyes of his searched the room, moving first from gun belt to gun belt, flicking an extra beat on the ones that hung low, looking for the hands without gloves. Then his glance come up to face level, like a assayer examining ore. Well, him and Ben hadn't never seen each other before, but somehow they knew each other. Their eyes caught and held, like two longhorns locked together.
I hear somebody's looking for me. In case anybody don't know me, name's Kirby Hunsaker.
I'm looking for you.
Speak your piece.
A long time ago, when I couldn't do anything about it, you stole a horse from me.
You called me a horse thief?
You ran him into a chuck hole and you left him with a broken leg. I had to shoot him.
You got nerve. Name your price. I might pay it.
You'll pay it. My price is the life of the man who stole that horse.
You got a gun. Dig for it.
You move first, Hunsaker.
I'm giving you an edge. Better take it.
No. I want to give you a little time, Hunsaker. If I draw first, then you got to move without thinking. But I want you to think. I want you to think and decide and worry.
You're talking big. A little too big.
I want to give you time, like you gave it to a horse with a broken leg. Because you won't draw fast enough, Hunsaker. Not even if you move first. I'm going down to the livery stable to take a nap. At sundown, I'm coming back up the street, and I don't want anybody on it. You better shoot me in the back while I'm going out that door, because if you don't, I'm going to kill you, Hunsaker.
The flame was in Hunsaker's eyes, too. But it was a man's hate, not pure and white, but diluted with the memory of the way Ben's gun hung, and diluted with just a shadow of fear. Ben went back and slept, like he said. I sat beside him for the best part of an hour. Then I shook him, kind of gentle. Sun's hanging pretty low, Ben. Just about time to get up and wash.
Why don't you start for home, Dan? I'll catch up to you later.
Well, I thought that I'd wait up at the hotel.
All right, Dan. See you later.
Yeah, man. I'll see you later. So here I am, in the window of the hotel, and yonder he is in the street, him and Kirby Hunsaker, walking towards each other. And the town is so quiet you can hear their steps on the boardwalk. The fingers of the right hands is clawed like hooks, almost touching the gun butts. Don't even seem like the sun is moving anymore. Like even the shadows is glued there on the ground waiting for one of them hands to move. Because when it comes, it'll come fast.
Better dig, Hunsaker.
You punk.
I'm going to collect for that horse.
Dirty fellow.
That's your receipt, Hunsaker.
Ben! Ben, are you all right, boy?
I'm all right. Let's walk.
Well, it's all over now, boy. Let's saddle up and go on home.
Hey, wait.
It's the blacksmith. Guess the horses are ready.
Express rider came in just after you left before. Boaz Watson is riding in. He met him on the trail. You gonna stay and meet him?
Me? I got no quarrel with Boaz Watson.
Well, looks like you will have. He was mighty keen on meeting up with Hunsaker. Looks like you've taken over Hunsaker's place.
You'd better go on alone, Dan.
What do you mean, Ben?
I killed Hunsaker. Now every gunslinger looking for a reputation will try to get it by killing me. From now on, I gotta fight or run?
Well, I'll stay with you. I've been holed up in one place too long anyhow.
No, Dan. This is where we got to split. Right now. Thanks for everything. I'll never forget you. Goodbye, Dan.
Goodbye, Ben. Goodbye, boy. Goodbye, son. Yeah, he's a gunfighter now. A gunslinging madman will see to that. But he won't never be an outlaw like Kirby Hunsaker or Boaz Watson or Jim Dunn. He kill if they force him to it. But ain't nobody never gonna buy his gun for killing. 'Cause he's got to own something. Desert took his family. I couldn't make up for him. Kirby Hunsaker took his horse, and he'll never really own another one. But there's one thing he's got in this world. That gun. That gun is his. He owns it.
No one wants to have car trouble, especially on a vacation trip. But sometimes we forget that faulty or neglected lubrication can cause wear and breakdown in any car. To keep trouble away, see the Richfield gasoline dealer tomorrow. Get all-point protection against summer wear and breakdown with Richfield All-Point Safety Service. This service gives your car the extra protection of new Rich Lube lithium lubricant, the premium lubricant that's better always. And Richfield All-Point Safety Service also includes all-point lubrication of your chassis, transmission, differential, and wheel bearings. And to protect your motor in hot summer driving, the Richfield dealer puts in fresh, clean, Rich Lube all-weather motor oil. The Pennsylvania premium grade oil that cleans as it lubricates. But that's not all. As a final precaution, the Richfield dealer makes a safety check of your battery, tires, spark plugs, and radiator. So tomorrow, stop where you see the Richfield Eagle and the cream and blue pumps. Protect your car with Richfield All-Point Safety Service. Escape is produced and directed by William N. Robeson, and tonight has presented Sundown by Joel Murcott. Featured in the cast were Barton Yarbrough as Dan, Sam Edwards as Ben, Will Gear as Sam, Ted Osborne as Hunsaker, John Ramsey Hill as young Ben, and also heard were Paul Freese and John Daner. Special music arranged and played by Ivan Ditmars. Next week.
You are trapped on a dwindling sandbar amid the rushing waters of a South American jungle river. Night is coming, and with it hordes of Amazonian vampire bats. The river surrounding you teems with ferocious piranha, the cannibal fish, from whom there is no escape.
Next week at this time, the Richfield Oil Corporation of New York invites you to escape to the jungles of South America with a seething tale of terror and violence, as James Poe tells it in Bloodbath, starring Vincent Price. Goodbye, then, until this same time next week, when once again we offer you Escape. Tom Hanlon speaking. This is CBS, the Columbia Broadcasting System.
Tired of the everyday routine? Ever dream of a life of romantic adventure? Want to get away from it all?
We offer you Escape. Escape, designed to free you from the four walls of today for a half hour of high adventure. Escape, brought to you by your Richfield gasoline dealer and the Richfield Oil Corporation of New York. Marketers of Richfield gasolines with Xylene, Rich Lube, all-weather motor oil, and other famous petroleum products. Look for the Richfield Eagle on the cream and blue pumps.
Tonight, we escape to the jungles of South America and a seething tale of terror and violence as told by James Poe in Bloodbath, starring Mr. Vincent Price.
By portaging the rapids and walking the mules in the shallower stretches, we'd managed to get our supplies and equipment more than 1,700 miles up the river. After this, further navigable passage being impossible, we'd traveled by foot, hacking our way through the thick, steaming jungle, coaxing and goading the heavily laden beasts. We'd left the jungle and begun the climb. 11 days later, high in the Andes, we found our objective. We set to work, hard work. And then, on a hazy afternoon in late May, we found it. I shall never forget the scene. Below us, the mountains swung down to the jungle which stretched eastward, far as the eye could see. The peaks above us had cut off the setting sun, and the light had a curious violet quality. The dank, chill wind, whispering and gusting, set the sparse timber scrubs to trembling and shuddering, and the mules, disdainful of their 5 strange masters, foraged the cacti and dwarf pine. The instruments were set up and the specimens were at hand, and now, crouched and tense, we leaned forward.
How about it, Hess?
Wait. The tube's got to warm up. Come on.
Wait, will you?
I've waited 5 years for this moment.
500, you mean? 5 million. Come on, Hessie. How about it, Hess?
Mm-hmm. Okay, give him the sample, O'Brien.
Yeah, here.
Come on, baby.
Shut up, will you?
Here goes. Switch on. Holy cow. Good. It's fantastic. Fantastic.
Yeah? Come on, Hessie. What's the word?
Yeah, Hessie, give.
Gentlemen.
Unless this machine is busted, unless this Geiger counter has forgotten its multiplication table, we have discovered the richest lode of uranium ore known to man.
I won't go into the details of how we'd come to locate the ore, because that's a story in itself. Suffice it to say that late in the afternoon of that hazy May day, the 5 of us, gamblers all, came to the end of our rainbow, found our pot of gold.
The vein runs all the way up the side of the mountain.
Must be worth $1 million.
$1 million, $1 billion, $1 trillion.
Do you boys realize what we've got here?
Sure we do.
We've got the world at our feet. Why, the man who gets the strike registered in his name can be a king. Every country in the world is going to come running up to him with trunks full of money and power.
You tell him, Hessie.
Power?
Yeah, we'll make the United States the most powerful nation on earth.
Why the United States?
Oh, you wouldn't sell to anybody else, would you?
I'm a businessman, Harris.
You're a fool.
No. I'm a businessman.
$1 trillion.
Oh, gents, we've got the world at our feet.
Split 5 ways.
The world at our feet, split 5 ways. That night, as I lay huddled under my thin blanket, I wondered what it would be like, being a wealthy man. Wondered if it were really true. Wondered how it would affect the others, how it would affect me. In the morning, we were to set off on the long return journey down to the jungle and through the jungle to the launch and down the river to civilization. There we'd register our claim, purchase, if need be, the land, lease it perhaps from the government. Oh, millionaires. The world at our feet. Uranium. Enough to blow up the whole universe. Power.
wake up.
What's...
Wake up, Harris, wake up.
Oh, good morning, millionaire.
Weedens, wake up.
The sun's coming up. Hey, where are the others?
They're gone.
Gone?
Yes, Dumont and O'Brien. They took the mules and most of the food and cut out. When? How do I know when? Sometime during the night.
But why?
Why? $1 trillion, that's why.
Oh, no.
Once they get down to the jungle, they'll have to travel on foot. There's 10 days' march to the river. If they beat us to the boat, we're stuck with 1,500 miles of jungle between us and safety.
50? Impossible. We'd never make 100.
That's right. We've got to catch them, or we're dead.
We traveled as lightly as possible. It was a risky business, doubly so because O'Brien and Dumont had taken our guns with them. The only weapons we had between us were one long machete and 2 pocket knives. These would be of little protection against jaguars, bushmasters, tapirs, boa constrictors, and the rest of it. Fortunately, they'd left our number one necessity to survival. They'd forgotten to take our quinine. This and our food was all we carried. The long descent to the jungle was slow going on foot. It was here that we nearly gave up hope. We moved as fast as we could, but we were no match for men who were riding. But we reached the jungle. Then things took a better turn. Here the thick vines and heavy undergrowth was, we knew, almost an impossible hazard for a riding man. And we could see their boot prints mingled with those of the mules. We knew that they were having trouble, too. The animals were afraid of many things in the jungle, would balk suddenly, require careful handling. We pushed ahead as rapidly as possible, battling mosquitoes, fume flies, matukas, and the blood-sucking carpazo ticks, and, of course, the jungle itself with its never-ending barrage of razor grasses, needle vines, swamps, bog traps, and so forth. It was hot, stinking hot, and the going was hard, but we had to make it. Couldn't travel at night. They'd taken our flashlight. We'd bundle up as best we could, protecting ourselves not from the cold. It was hot and muggy even at dawn, but from the mosquitoes. And as we progressed towards the river area, from the bats. Vampire bats. Ever seen them? They're small, rather fragile-looking little things. By day they hang, heads down from the trees, wings folded like clusters of rotten fruit. By night, they hunt. They have razor-sharp teeth, bite like the finest steel scalpels. Their object is to break the skin very delicately, start the blood to coming, and then they simply hang on and sip. Without mosquito netting, we had a rough time of it, a sleepless time. But we managed to keep on going. And on the 3rd day...
No use, fellas. We can't make it to the river before them.
But that's too easy. We've got to make it right, Wayne.
And even if we do catch up, they got the guns. Huh? What are you talking about?
Quiet. I heard something. What did you hear?
Gunfire.
Yeah.
Come on. They can't be more than a mile or two ahead. Come on.
We ran through the jungle, following the fresh marks of the animals and the 2 men. And a half an hour or so later, we broke into a little clearing, and there was Dumont.
He's dead.
Shot in the back.
Good old sweet guy, that old...
Here, come on. Let's turn him over.
Really been sweating, huh?
Yeah, it's malaria. See his face? Good old Obie. And Dumont came down with malaria, probably started to slow him down.
Sweet guy, that old...
Come on, let's go. Hey, they should have remembered the quinine.
I got no sympathy for Dumont.
You know what'd be nice?
What?
If that Obie should get malaria now.
Yeah. He'd be helpless.
Yeah. He'd ask me for quinine. And I'd throw him a stone.
On we went. Now there were no boot marks with the mule tracks. Apparently O'Brien was riding one of the animals. From time to time we'd see a flurry of tracks turned up as though he had to dismount to tug one of the beasts back onto the trail. We followed the tracks for another 2 days, and then on the 6th day, we found one of the mules.
How you feeling, boy? Huh? Where's your saddle? He really looks beat. Look at those marks on his flanks.
Vampire death.
Yeah.
That leaves O'Brien on foot.
Yeah. Hey, you hear that? It's the launch. Where's the river? He's starting the motor. Come on.
It wasn't very far, just a few hundred yards, and the path was strewn with O'Brien's discarded supplies. Quite suddenly, we came out of the jungle and onto a narrow white sandbar. The river. And there, not 30 feet away from us, just drifting off into the deep, dark, fast-moving waters, was O'Brien in the launch. O'Brien!
Look at him. He's like a skeleton.
The launch lurched dizzily as it floated downstream. O'Brien was feeble, sweating, possessed. He had the fever, had it bad.
Come on, let's go after
You
him.
can't. This is piranha water.
Cannibal fish. They'll eat you, Happy.
Yeah.
Hey, Obie! Hey, you know me, Obie! Your old pal, Happy! Hey, what do you say, Obie, huh? Bring him,
He
pal!
staggered dizzily about the cockpit trying to start the engine. He was laughing, and he was so weak that he could barely spin the flywheel to the kicker.
Obie! He's back! Good Lord, he's in the water!
The fish, the piranhas!
Hey, gonna look at this!
One moment we saw him swimming weakly, his large, fever-ridden eyes turned imploringly toward us, and the next moment he was gone, leaving only a large red churning patch on the water. The piranhas are small, rarely more than 12 or 14 inches long, small fish with large, powerful jaws, teeth like broken glass, and an insatiable, maniacal appetite for flesh. The launch, caught by the deep, fast-moving waters, rocked softly this way and that and moved on downstream. Away. Away around a bend and out of sight.
The march of science over the years has produced better than ever gasoline for your car. But now science adds one of the greatest gasoline components of all. It's called xylene. Xylene, a super gasoline component, adds two great qualities to gasoline. Xylene gives higher than ever anti-knock performance. Xylene means power. Today, every gallon of Richfield gasoline contains xylene. If you want a motor that runs quiet as a whisper, if you want pickup and power to spare, try Richfield gasoline with xylene. Your Richfield dealer offers a choice of two great Richfield gasolines with xylene. Richfield High Octane at regular price for the average motor. Or Richfield Ethyl. Ethyl at its best for tip-top results in the highest compression motors. Drive in where you see the Richfield Eagle on the cream and blue pumps. Get Richfield gasoline with xylene. Xylene, one of the highest anti-knock components in gasoline history. And now we return you to Escape, starring Vincent Price.
We picked over the supplies O'Brien had left on the shore. There wasn't much we wanted. A gun without ammunition, a few tins of food, a tent and some bedding, cooking equipment, a coil of rope. We loaded these things onto the mule and set off through the jungle, downstream along the river's course. 1,500 miles to civilization. We had it tough. The jungle was thick along the river's bank, and we made little progress. Not more than 5 miles that day, but the next day, we rounded a bend, keeping close to the shore, and there, about a quarter mile below us, and nuzzling the opposite shore, grounded on the sand, lay the launch.
Looks shallow enough here.
Yeah, it does.
Yeah, but what about the fish?
How deep does it look to you, Harris? It's the deepest spot, I mean.
Oh, I don't know, maybe 2.5 feet, maybe 3.
Most of it's less than that. I got an idea.
Shoot.
We got to get across the launch, see? So here's what we do. We throw away everything. There'll be food and water in the launch, see?
Yeah.
Now, you see that little patch of sand in the middle of the river where the bar shows?
Yeah.
We go that way. That's bound to be the shallowest way, see?
How do we go?
On the mule, the three of us.
Ah, you're nuts.
This mule ain't in such bad condition it can't get the three of us across 70 feet of shallow water.
What do you say, Harris? Why not?
All right. I'll get aboard first. Come on. Get farther up, Wingsy. You're the lightest.
Yeah.
Harris, you get on next. Hang on to Wingsy. Here. Carry this coil of rope around your neck. We may need it. I'll get the machete strapped to my back.
Hey, you set, Wayne?
Yeah.
Now hold tight to me, Hess.
Don't worry. If I go, you go too. And if he goes, I go. So let's hang on, gents. Let's really hang on.
As long as he's moving fast, he can't get at his legs. Isn't that right?
He's not showing anything to him but hooks and hair.
Hold his head up, Wayne. Don't let him look down.
You all set?
Yeah, all set.
All right, here we go. All right, get on. Come on, come on. Come on, baby.
I felt the mule lurch when he stepped into the water. The sand was softer here than on the shore.
Sand, huh?
Ahead, not 40 feet away, lay the little spit of land. The mule refused to run, couldn't run, and before he'd taken 10 steps, I knew he was too weak to support the three of us. From every direction in the swirling water about us came small, shadowy, dark shapes.
Come on.
The piranha.
Don't stop. Come on, baby. Keep moving, baby. Come on. Move along, baby.
He can't do it.
You gotta do it, baby. Come on, mother. What are those?
The piranhas were churning the water about us, and coming in from beyond them were 4 or 5 long, dark shapes, 6 and 7 feet long, thick and wriggling electric eels.
They'll sting them. Get along. To the back.
Get into the sandbar.
Faster, faster. Come on.
Made it.
It's true about electric eels. I can throw a jolt that'll kill a jaguar. Make it jaws like a vice.
So, here we are, gentlemen, stuck. Just 30 feet of water between us and the shore. Get across it, and we can get to the launch and the civilization and all the rest.
The three of us are too much for that mule.
Only 30 feet. Why, you could run it in seconds.
You see those little shadows around us in the water?
I see those little shadows around us. You don't have to draw pictures.
Hey.
Oh, here's another bright idea coming up.
As a matter of fact, yeah.
Yeah, hold on to your hat, Harris.
We got that coil of rope.
Yes.
The mule could carry one of us. That mule's not in such bad shape, you know.
Yes.
Tie the rope over his bridle. Then one of us pulls him over with him fast. You see, one rides, and then the other two pull him back.
Yeah?
And the next one gets on.
Yeah.
What do you say?
Oh, he can't stay here.
It's a natural.
Who goes first?
Me, on account I'm the lightest. I won't tire him so much.
How about it, Harris?
All right.
Well, get going then.
Okay. Tie that rope to his bridle.
I'm doing it.
All right, give me the machete.
What do you want the machete for?
I want it, that's all. Gimme.
Okay.
All right, now you two get at the end of the spit. Because when you pay out the line, you don't get it caught in his legs.
Well, you think of everything.
That's right. I'm a smart boy.
Ready with the line.
You sure it's tied fast to the bridle?
Yeah, I'm sure.
No funny business, Weems. All we gotta do is jerk this rope once while you're over that water and you're done for.
You're a sharp article.
That's right.
But not sharp enough. Hey,
Weems, you cut the rope! Come on, suckers!
The rope. Our only salvation was cut. And now Weems, grinning and riding, was out into the stream, heading for the shore and safe. He went not 15 feet when one of the long, dark, wriggling shapes made for the mule and got his leg. The mule reared up on his hind legs, the eel clinging to his foot, pumping paralyzing shots into him. Weems clutched his neck with one hand and slapped him on the flank with the flat of the machete with the other. The mule came down and more eels went for his legs. He began to lurch sideways. Weems swung the long steel blade in an arc, barely missing the mule's leg, and connected with one of the eels. Hair seemed to stand on end. His other arm released the mule's neck. The arm holding the blade was extended stiffly, still caught in the thick, muscular back of the electric eel. And then the mule reared again, and Weems fell back into the water. The mule, freed of Weems, made the shore and vanished into the jungle. We turned away. No man could watch what was happening to Weems and retain his sanity. And so, there we were, Hess and I, on that sand spit which the river was slowly washing away. Night coming, the vampire bats coming, and all about us, the electric eels and the little cannibal fish waiting. There was no moon. There were evil stars, red and yellow. There was a black sky, and against it, blacker shapes, the vampire bats. We waved our arms and kept them off, but again and again during that long and terrible night, they brushed against us, squealing and squeaking, trying to get at dark, evil, thirsting bats. 1,000 years later came the dawn.
That water's taken a lot of sand away. This thing isn't much bigger than a card table. Look at them. Look at those fish. You'd think they had enough to eat yesterday. Listen, Harris. No matter what happens now, at least you and I have played it square, right?
Yeah, that's right.
Shake my hand, Harris.
All right.
Because I think I got an idea on how we can get out of here.
What?
Yeah. Look up there. Yeah. See that vine hanging down from the big tree?
It's over the water, and it must be 15 feet up.
Yeah, but if you were on it, you could do a Tarzan to the shore.
The rope?
That's right. Now, if we can just lasso the end of that and pull tight, we'll have enough swing to make it across. Swing like a pendulum, if you follow me. One guy gets on the other shoulders to swing over to get the start, see? Then when he gets to shore, he fastens a rock and swings the rope back to the other.
That vine will hold. It'll work. It took us 2 hours before we managed to lasso the end of that vine. And then we tested it again and again until we were positive it would hold a man's weight. And then we were ready.
Stand good and steady now, pal. I'm going to go easy on you, but don't shake. Because if you throw me in that water, I'm a gone guy.
I'm ready.
I'm ready. Good luck. Here.
I felt his feet leave my shoulders, and then he was off, skimming the water with his feet drawn up, and then, miraculously, he was on the shore. Good boy! Good boy!
Yeah.
Like a breeze, huh?
Like a breeze.
Hey, any rocks around there?
Sorry.
He smiled at me and shrugged, and then looked down the stream at the launch. I knew that smile, that $1 trillion smile. It said, "So long, sucker." Don't do it, Hef. Send me the rope.
You're too nice a guy, Harris. You and I would never get along.
You can have it all, Hef. Every scrap of it. Only for the love of mercy, send me the rope.
No, you want some. You wouldn't approve of what I mean to do with it.
Hef! He stood there laughing at me and shaking his head slowly. But above him, just over his head, was another vine, thick and mottled, and it was moving. Look out, Hef! Hef! He didn't understand or didn't hear me. Just stood there smiling and shaking his head. The boa constrictor dropped heavily and accurately, a thrashing tangle of scaly musk. The sun was hot, blistering hot. I was alone, all alone, except for the ever-waiting piranhas. Hess's body was hidden by the low, scrubby vines and palmettos. Several hours later, I saw the boa, now gorged, slither lumpily away. I waited, and I waited. From time to time, I thought of stepping out into the stream. It would be over very quickly, I told myself, very quickly. I couldn't. And then I noticed an odd thing. The current which had been sweeping the sand away had shifted slightly. A whim, a miracle. And now new sand from some sunken bar was beginning to pile up between me and the shore, grain by grain, rib by rib. I watched it. And I watched. And I watched. And at 5 o'clock that afternoon, I walked ashore to the lawn. And didn't even get my feet wet. It's nice where I live. Quiet little streets, nice people, nice kids, nice country. Peaceful. Nice peace. I know where there's enough uranium to blow it all to hell. Want it? Just go up the river. Up the river, it's for the taking. Ask Dumont and Obie and Weems and Hess. $1 trillion worth. Enough to give the whole world a bloodbath. Yourself included.
warm summer weather makes you think of baseball games, picnics, and holiday driving. But be sure your car's ready when you are. Get Richfield All-Point Safety Service, the service that puts your car in top shape for warm weather driving. With Richfield All-Point Safety Service, you get a careful all-point lubrication job that protects the chassis, transmission, and differential. You get lubricants that stick to your car's ribs no matter what the temperature. You get the protection of Rich Lube, all-weather motor oil, the Pennsylvania premium-grade oil that cleans as it lubricates. You also get a safety check of batteries, spark plugs, tires, and radiator, and expert service if your car has automatic transmission. The Richfield gasoline dealer is specially trained to protect your car against wear and breakdown. So get Richfield All-Point Safety Service tomorrow. Look for the Richfield Eagle on the cream and blue pumps. Escape is produced and directed by William N. Robeson, and tonight starred Mr. Vincent Price. Bloodbath was written by James Poe. Others in the cast were Wally Mayer, Ted DeCorsia, Paul Frees, and Tony Barrett. Special music arranged and played by Ivan Ditmars. Next week.
You are groping your way slowly through the dark hold of a ship at sea, moving carefully, step by step, dreading to find what you know is there. Death in the form of a deadly bushmaster from which there is no escape.
Next week at this time, the Richfield Oil Corporation of New York invites you to escape to the Caribbean and a grim voyage of impending death, as Martin Storm tells it in his exciting tale, A Shipment of Mute Fate. Goodbye, then, until this same time next week, when once again we offer you Escape. Tom Hanlon speaking. This is CBS, the Columbia Broadcasting System.
Wheat Checks, Rice Checks, and Good Hot Roastin' present Space Patrol! High adventure in the wild, vast reaches of space. Missions of daring in the name of interplanetary justice. Travel into the future with Buzz Corey, Commander-in-Chief of the Space Patrol! In today's transcribed adventure, Buzz and Happy are on Venus on a farm where food is chemically grown in large tanks. As they walk toward a building where Tonga is held captive, huge sun mirrors atop several tall towers turn ominously toward them.
Smoking rockets, Commander. It's really getting hot all of a sudden.
Yes, waves of heat. Even for Venus, this is unusual.
Gee, my eyes. What a glare.
Don't look at those reflectors. They'll blind you.
Let's run for the building and get out of the sun.
Happy, look out. They're focusing those sun mirrors on us.
A whole battery of them are pointed right toward us.
Maybe we can dodge them. Run back this way.
Commander, they've got us surrounded by the heat beams, and they're closing in.
If they hit us with all of them at once, we're finished.
We'll be back in just a moment with today's Space Patrol story, The Space Shark. It's the cereal of the future, the real space cereal. The cereal that's different from any other cereal in the universe. The cereal you see on Commander Corey's own breakfast table. Delicious Rice Chex, the cereal with a flavor like no other flavor in all the universe. Delicious Rice Chex, swell-tasting shredded rice, spun in that modern bite-sized design for easy eating. A real space cereal. You see, there's space inside those biscuits so they can fill up with milk or cream. Try it today, gang. The only bite-sized rice cereal in the universe. Rice Chex, the one and only official checkerboard rice cereal. Rice Chex, one of the super cereals that help to supercharge you. Rice Chex, at your grocer's in the red and white checkerboard package. Get it today. Crisp and delicious. New and different. Golden bite-size Rice Chex. Commander Corey and Cadet Happy have just blasted off from the planet Saturn, where they've been investigating mysterious contamination of chemically grown food shipped from Venus.
In the meantime, Tonga, the assistant security chief, is also doing some undercover investigation work on Venus, working as a chemist on one of the farms. Now, through the nose port of Terra 5, Buzz and Happy watch Saturn's shining rings looming up large before them.
Raise our vector about 5 degrees, Happy. Want to clear the rings with plenty of space to spare.
Yes, sir. You know, it's too bad anything so beautiful is such a menace to spaceflight.
But by the time you're close enough for them to be a menace, the rings are no longer beautiful.
No, because you can see the individual hunks of rock making up the rings. And yet from a distance, they look as though you could ride a circus car around them like on a smooth racetrack.
Only in this case, it's the racetrack that does the moving. Well, it's 1100 hours Universal Star Time, Happy. We ought to be hearing from Tonga pretty soon.
I hope she found out more about how that food is getting contaminated than we did.
Those samples we examined on Saturn turned bad after they arrived from Venus.
So maybe the chemical farm they came from is still pure, huh?
Not necessarily. Perhaps a chemical with a delayed action was put into the hydroponic tanks.
Tonga calling Commander Corey. Tonga calling Commander Corey.
Corey here. Go ahead, Tonga.
Commander, how soon can you come to Venus?
We just blasted off from Saturn. It'll take at least 3.5 hours. Something wrong?
Why, no, to the contrary. I found out how those harmful chemicals are getting into the hydroponic tanks.
Good.
A group of racketeers are trying to force the farm operators to pay for protection. They've bribed workers to put the contaminating chemicals into the tanks.
Then, for the owners who pay the price, the tanks stay pure. Who's behind this gang?
I don't know yet, Commander, but I think I will by the time you reach Venus.
Where are you now?
In the women's dormitory at the farm. I'm just about ready to report for work at the lab.
If you leave your miniature spaceophone in your room, be sure you hide it carefully.
I keep it with me, Commander. It's safer.
You want us to come directly to the farm when we reach Venus?
I'll let you know later, Commander. By the way, I'm working here as Miss Bird.
All right, Tonga. Be careful. Corey out.
Gee, Commander, Tonga seems to have found out more in a week than all the other agents have in a month.
She's a good security department operator, Happy. No, we'll clear the rings. Change the vector for Venus.
Yes.
Ready for the spectroscope check on specimen 28, Mr. Baxter?
All right, Miss Burns.
Negative. Well, this whole group of samples tests pure. I hope we have as good luck on the next group.
Oh, never mind that now, Miss Burns. I'll handle it.
Oh, but I thought you wanted all these samples analyzed before the morning shift ends.
There isn't much more to do. I'd like to have you take this report over to the superintendent's office.
Why, yes, Mr. Baxter.
Come in, Eggle.
Where is she? I sent her on an errand. That Space Patrol spy. I wonder how much she knows.
Not very much. I've kept close watch on her ever since we found that she's a Space Patrol agent.
But that was 3 days ago. She's been here a week. I'd like to know where she kept that spaceophone.
I've had her room searched at the women's dormitory. She's got it hidden, all right.
Perhaps it's under the floor. Baxter, you should have put that concealed microphone in her room in the first day she was here.
Look, I can't handle everything.
We got to get rid of her without exciting suspicion.
How can we do that? The Space Patrol will investigate.
Supposing there was an accident. Supposing she mixed the wrong chemicals and there was an explosion.
Oh, she's too careful. Too smart. I've got it. This will do fine.
What is that?
A harmless chemical used by Miss Burns almost constantly. But this bottle... Someone might easily confuse the names of the two chemicals. They're very much alike.
What does this chemical do?
A few drops mixed with any acid solution will produce a deadly gas. A gas that soon dissipates. After a few seconds, when it's mixed with air, it's harmless. But if someone were leaning over a container of it when it first formed...
Baxter, I can't pronounce the name of the substance, but it's the solution to our problem. Fix it up. I better get out of here before she gets back.
The superintendent said he'd check the report later, Mr. Baxter.
Typical. He hollers his head off or something, then lets it sit on his desk for 3 days. Miss Burns, would you take over here?
Of course.
I've got to rush over to tank number 5. I'll be back as soon as possible.
Right, Mr. Baxter. Now, let's see. Anetheric acid, 20 cc's. Oh, now where's it? Oh, here it is. Oh.
Worked, Eagle. Is the gas dissipated? Do you think I'd be walking around like this if it hadn't? As I told you, it only takes a few seconds for the...
Baxter, she's alive. Huh? Look at her. She's moving, tugging at her throat.
She must have jerked her head back before it got into her lungs. Now what do we do?
This makes it awkward. Let me think a minute.
Well, at this acceleration, we'll reach Venus in half an hour, sir.
Want me to take over?
No, thanks, sir. I'd just as soon bring her in, if I may.
Well, fine with me. Happy. Listen, I heard something on the miniature spacer phone.
So did I.
I got her back, sir. We'll load our Miss Burns into a surface car and take her to my hyperdromic farm. So somebody sees us. Tell them there was a slight accident. We can say I'm a doctor. Take her to a hospital.
But, Commander, they've done something to Tonga.
Quiet, Happy.
Take her to your farm. If she comes to, we can make her tell how much she knows. We certainly can't work on her here. That's right. I'll stay here and watch Miss Burns. We got to get a surface car. Go on, get moving.
Tonga managed to click on her spacer phone, so she's probably not too badly hurt.
I wish they'd keep talking so we could find out who they are and where they're going to take her.
Baxter and Eagle. Eagle has a chemical food farm. Happy you keep listening to your miniature set. I'll contact Venus Space Control and have them check on the location of a hydroponic farm owned by a man named Eagle. Passenger seems to be very quiet back there.
Well, apparently that gas just missed being totally effective. Here, pull up in front of this building.
What's this place?
A couple of storage rooms and a solar mirror control.
Quite a layout you have.
Yeah, very successful farm, Baxter. And you know, I haven't had a bit of trouble with contaminated food.
I wonder why. I wonder why.
Oh, come to think of it, maybe I'd better have some trouble, in case the Space Patrol starts wondering why. Well, come on, let's get her out of the car.
Still unconscious. We'll have to carry her.
Yeah, all right, let's go.
Spaceship. It's landing.
Quick, get her inside.
It's a Space Patrol ship. Why do you suppose it's coming here?
It's the commander ship. I've seen it a dozen of times on Terra. He must know the whole deal.
How could he?
The girl tipped him off. Probably has been waiting for days for some open move on our part.
What do we do with her? Where's one of those storage rooms?
Oh, wait. There isn't time for that now. Bring her in here. We got to stop Corey.
Stop? How?
Set her down here.
Look, why don't we lock her up out of sight? Maybe we can bluff Corey out of it. He can't know anything.
Well, he's obviously been to the other farm and knows the girl was taken away in a surface car.
Nobody asked us any questions?
No, but several people saw it.
Why don't we get in the car again and get away from here?
And be followed by Corey's spaceship?
I'm not anxious to tangle with Corey.
We won't have to. Come here. I'll show you something that will take care of Corey.
Commander, I'm not sure, but I thought I saw two men carrying Tonga into that building down there when we were landing the ship. That means she's still unconscious.
Yes, we've got to be careful, Happy.
It's lucky she managed to turn on her miniature spaceophone. And even when Eagle and Baxter weren't talking, it picked up the sound of the surface car motor and led us right here.
This farm is more than just a front. Looks like a well-run operation.
Well, then why does Milton Eagle get mixed up in a gang of racketeers?
Very likely he's one of the higher-ups, if not the kingpin. This protection racket is his way of controlling competition.
What are those big, shiny pieces of metal on top of the towers?
Those are solar mirrors, Happy. They can be focused on the food tanks to raise the temperature.
Some of them seem to be moving now.
They have to keep pace with the sun. Also, if the mirrors were kept focused on one tank too long, it would scorch the plants, probably boil the water.
Oh, I see.
I'm not so sure our arrival hasn't aroused interest, Happy, so be on your guard.
Get the idea now, Baxter? I'm surrounding Corey and the cadet with circles of concentrated sunlight.
What do you expect to do? Blind them with the glare?
Yeah. Wait till I converge all those beams in one spot, right on Corey and his friend.
Eagle, wait. Do you realize the heat those mirrors put out?
Yeah, quite well, Baxter. And I think this will serve to stop the Space Patrol permanently. Now watch. I'm going to bring the focal points together.
Gee, Commander, sure is getting hot all of a sudden.
Yes, waves of heat. Even for Venus, this is unusual.
Smoking rockets, my eyes. What a glare.
Don't look at those reflectors. They'll blind you.
Hey, let's run for the building and get out of the sun.
Happy, they're focusing those sun mirrors on us.
There's a whole battery of them.
Maybe we can dodge them. Run back this way.
Hey, Commander, we're surrounded by heat beams, and they're closing in.
If they hit us with all those at once, we're finished.
We'll be back with Space Patrol in just a moment. Right now, here's the story of a cosmic surface car in trouble. Listen. The trouble? Nothing to go on but ordinary fuel. You hear that? The driver's filling up the tank with super fuel. Now, something's going to happen now. Boy, that cosmic surface car is really roaring now. That's because it's supercharged with super fuel. And the same is true with you, gang. What happens when you don't have a good breakfast? You're just a putt-putt. But when you fill up your tank with super fuel, man, you're supercharged. Now, here's how Buzz Corey does it. He eats a good breakfast with a checkerboard super cereal, Rice Chex or Wheat Chex. Wait till you taste them, gang. Boy, are they good. Flavor galore in every crisp, bite-sized biscuit. So get going, gang. Eat a good super cereal breakfast and get supercharged. Get the super cereals today. Rice Chex, Wheat Chex. Buzz and Happy are on the grounds of a chemically grown food plant on Venus in an attempt to rescue Tonga, abducted by two men who've been putting poisonous chemicals in the food tanks of competing operators. The two conspirators, Milton Eagle and Richard Baxter, have seen Buzz and Happy approach the building where they're holding Tonga. Eagle has focused several sun mirrors toward the two space patrolmen, surrounding them with heat beams. Inch by inch, the circles close in around Buzz and Happy as Eagle tightens the wall of searing heat.
Look at them, Baxter. Ha! They can't move in any direction.
Grass all around them is burning.
Yeah, and a few seconds ago it was fresh and green.
It must be stifling inside those beams. Look at them. Even from here, you can tell they're gasping for air.
Well, we might as well finish them off.
Oh, no, you don't.
Grab her, Baxter.
Let go of me.
Get your hands off of that panel. Pull her away, Baxter.
I'm trying to.
Let go of me.
Why don't you come away?
Let go of me.
I've got her, Eagle. Now I'll finish off Corey and... she cut off the beam.
Get them on, quickly.
There isn't time. Corey and the cadet are headed toward us. Drag the girl out to the surface car. Quick.
Quit struggling, do you hear?
Take your hands off me.
We haven't got time to pamper you, Miss Burns. There. Now you can carry her. And hurry up into the car.
They're getting into the surface car. They've got Tonga. Hurry up. Stop! Hey, come back here! It's no use, Hap. Doggone it. A few more steps and we'd have made it.
Back to the ship. We'll blast off and trace them. They won't be able to get far. It was close. Huh? Plenty close.
We aren't away yet. They'll look for us with their ship. Maybe put up a roadblock.
Confounded girl. Why don't we get rid of her for good? Throw her out of the car.
No, you fool. As long as she's with us, Corey won't get robbed.
Where are you taking me?
That's a good question. Where are we taking her?
We're going to blast off for Neptune.
Blasting up for Neptune? In this surface car?
You must really have knocked her silly, Eagle.
I got a spaceship in a private spaceport a couple of miles from here. With a little luck, we can blast off before Corey spots us.
I think I've got him, sir, on the miniature set.
Yeah, that's them all right.
You just leave the driving to me. Watch the girl.
Where on Neptune are you taking me?
To a place where the space patrol will never find you.
I suppose you've got a hideout in the mountains somewhere.
No, not quite. There's a small settlement along the Kellogg River, just about 60 views east of Neptune City, where we won't be found.
A big city be better. People wouldn't ask so many questions.
I know what I'm doing.
Well, we know where they're going to take her.
Hope we can rescue Tonga before they get her aboard the spaceship.
Hey, Commander, there's a surface car down there on the highway. Do you suppose that's the one?
Very likely. Let's cut down our speed.
The spaceport isn't much further, Baxter.
What kind of spaceship do you have?
Man, such an inquisitive woman. But I'll tell you, I'm rather proud of it. It's a Class B space cruiser, one of the largest private ships made.
A Class B space cruiser. How nice. It must be Venus Registry, then.
Yes, Venus Registry. Anything else you want to know?
Hagel, we're being followed.
By a surface car? None showing on a highway radar.
No, a spaceship. It's pretty high up, but it's hovering.
There's some binoculars in the compartment. See if you can make out what ship it is.
All right.
I don't like the looks of it. Why would a spaceship be traveling so slowly over this part of Venus?
It's changing direction now. We can get these glasses hooked. It's a space patrol ship, Terra 5.
Corey again.
Maybe he didn't see us after all.
There were other surface cars on the highway near my farm. Wonder how he happened to follow this one.
Strange. Miss Burns, why do you keep playing with that lock?
I didn't know I was.
Give me that.
How dare you?
Oh, rather large for a locket, isn't it? Snap it open. Now, isn't this interesting?
What is it, Baxter?
Miniature spaceophone. So that's how Corey's been able to find us. We really ought to fix this girl now.
Shut up, you fool. Turn that spaceophone off.
Just a minute, Eagle. I know where you are and what you're up to. If either you or Baxter harm Tonga, both of you will regret it the rest of your lives.
So your real name is Tonga, the assistant security chief.
That's right.
Corey, I got a proposition to make to you.
What is it?
If we turn Tonga loose, will you let us alone?
You know I couldn't make a bargain like that.
Well, I'm willing to take a gamble, Corey. I know you'll keep after us, but I'll trade Tonga for a few minutes' time. There's a small check a few hundred yards down the highway. I'll leave Tonga there. How about it, Corey? It's your best chance to get her back safely.
All right, Eagle. I'll get you anyway, but I warn you, don't try to double-cross me.
Cut the spaceophone off, Baxter.
It's off.
Here's the shack. We got to work fast. Corey's landing right where I figured he would. Stay behind the trees until he's out of the ship.
Why don't we get in the car and get to your ship? Why waste time?
While Corey is in the shack rescuing Tonga, we'll put his weapons out of commission.
Why not wreck the controls so he can't blast off?
Yeah, and have him alert other space patrol units? Our best bet is to have Corey after us himself.
Tell me your ship is faster than Terra 5.
No, but his ship isn't faster than the Shark.
The Shark?
Yeah, it's a cosmic missile with a special view scope device. I have one aboard my ship. And once it's launched at Corey's ship, he can dodge it or outrun it.
Yes, and with his own cosmic weapons out of commission, he can't fire at the Shark.
That's right. He can run all over the solar system. But sooner or later, the Shark will get him. Come on, get ready. Corey and the cadet are getting out of the ship.
Here's the shack, sir. I sure hope they kept their word and left Tonga here.
Eagle and Baxter are putting a lot of faith in a few minutes head start. But it won't do them much good. Try the door, Hal.
Thanks.
Commander, Happy.
Are you all right, Tonga?
Yes, Commander.
Oh, they've got her tied, hand and foot.
To give them more time, they probably would have locked the door if they could. Here, I'll cut those ropes, Tonga.
Thank you, Commander. I tried to find out exactly where Eagle's spaceship was. All I know is that it's not too far from here.
Happy and I looked for it from the air, but it must have been hidden.
Hey, the ship blasting off.
Probably Eagle's. Let's see. By the time we walk through the woods back to our ship, they'll have about 5 minutes start on us.
5 minutes? Well, that isn't going to do them much good.
They picked us up, Eagle. Good. Now let's give Corey a run for his money.
When are you going to launch the guided missiles at them?
We'll wait till they get closer. First, we leave Corey out of the regular lane. I don't want him to call for help when we launch the Shark.
We aren't gaining very fast, sir.
They must realize they can't escape. Turn on the space phone, Happy. I'll order them to surrender. Commander Corey aboard Terra 5 to Milton Eagle aboard Private Cruiser 398. Come in.
Eagle to Commander Corey. Is something wrong, Commander?
Eagle, the smartest thing you can do is surrender. Head for Saturn. It's the closest planet.
Sorry. We have other plans.
I order you to surrender. We're armed, you know.
Oh, of course.
Happy, stand by to fire a warning rocket.
Yes, sir.
Eagle, I don't want to use force unless it's necessary, but I'm prepared to do it.
Commander, something's wrong with the firing mechanism.
What?
The electronic controls are out of order.
What about number 2?
Well, they're all out of order, sir.
That's right, Commander. Baxter and I took care of that while you were rescuing Tonga.
We can still overtake you, Eagle. Meanwhile, we can call units from Saturn.
You're going to be pretty busy, Commander. Baxter and I are sending you a present. Catch.
Eagle, if you fire on a space patrol ship, you'll be blasted out of space.
Commander, look at the viewscope. Something's leaving their ship.
It's not a regular missile, sir. It's too slow.
It may seem slow now, Cadet, but wait.
Eagle, what did you just release?
A weapon with your picture on it, Commander.
It's gaining velocity, sir.
It's a guided type missile with a cosmic warhead. Have fun. Eagle out.
Happy. Change vector for Saturn. For Saturn, sir? Yes, and put on all the acceleration we can stand. It's getting closer, Commander. Head for Saturn's rings, Happy. For the rings? Yes, get on a tangent with the outer ring.
All right, sir, but... Commander.
Yes, sir.
The rings are made up of big chunks of rock. If we get too close...
That's the idea, Tonga. We'll get as close as possible. We're going to let those rocks run interference for us. What an idea. Just like football at technology school. Blocking back, trailing you. Tonga, bring the forward view scope up to full sensitivity. We'll pick out a nice big rock.
Yes, Commander.
That missile's awfully close, sir. At this rate, it'll hit us in a few seconds.
There's a giant hunk of rock dead ahead.
Good. I'll hit the controls now, Happy. I'm going to see how close I can come to that rock. Tonga, watch the rear view scope.
The missile's awfully close.
Fine. We're going to jaywalk right in front of that rock. Wow. Oh, boy, was that close. Smoking rockets, have you ever seen such fire? Watch the rear view scope. The rock. It blew up right behind us. Guided missile hit it. Oh, that was luck. Luck, nothing. That was the trickiest spaceship piloting in the universe, Commander. You hit a guided missile with an unguided missile. Let's take care of some unfinished business. Eagle and Baxter.
How are we going to find them now?
I don't think it'll be difficult. They figure we're out of the way, so they might go back to their original plan.
The Kellogg River place?
We'll try it. Take over, Happy. We're clear of the ring.
Well, I lined up another ship for us, Baxter.
Good. When do we leave Kellogg?
In a few hours. One of my men is bringing a ship in from Neptune City.
It can't be too soon to suit me. I don't like this place.
What are you so jittery about? We don't have to worry about Corey anymore.
No, I just don't like Neptune. I'm used to Venus. You get plenty of sunshine.
Get your hands up, Eagle. You too, Baxter. Get the weapons, Happy.
Yes, sir. Corey, how did you... The guided missile, you couldn't have escaped the shark.
The shark, if that's what you call it, stubbed its nose on a rock just off Saturn. As a pet, it wasn't too trustworthy.
You were so sure you'd finished Corey, I told you not to come here. Nah, Baxter. No recrimination. We gambled and we lost. Take it easy, Baxter. Like me.
No, you don't, Eagle. Now, Eagle. Are you ready to come along?
Yeah, sure. Okay, Corey. I'll come along.
Yeah, you're not very agile, Eagle. You'd better stick to taking it easy, like Baxter.
An exciting preview of next week's thrilling Space Patrol story in just a moment. Hey, watch out. Hold everything. Here he comes down the rink so fast his ice skates are melting the ice. Wow, that's a checkerboard kid. He's supercharged. And a good breakfast with a checkerboard super cereal did it. A breakfast with swell-tasting instant roastin'. Here he comes again. Stand back. Jumpin' Jupiter, that boy's a winner. He's got the speed of Buzz Corey himself. And how about you, gang? How about getting supercharged so you can whiz along just like that? Just do this. Have a good breakfast with Instant Roastin', the hot super cereal. The delicious hot cereal that helps to turn on your starter. Makes you bright as a light and helps to keep you right on the beam. That's what it does for the Commander. That's what it'll do for you. Here comes the checkerboard kid again on those flying ice skates. Don't wait, gang. Be a winner yourself. Get supercharged. Eat a good breakfast with the delicious hot super cereal, Instant Roastin'. And now for a preview of next week's exciting Space Patrol story. Buzz and Happy and their spacesuits on a tiny asteroid are approaching a criminal who has stolen evidence that's needed to convict a crime syndicate.
He's got the metal box, sir, with the evidence.
All right, Chora.
Come out of that crater and get into our ship.
I'm getting into my own ship, Corey, and you're not going to stop me.
All right, we'll come down and get you.
Take one more step and I'll use this gun on you. All right, have it your way. I warned you.
Drop, Happy. Oh, that was close. The gun chipped a hunk of rock loose as big as your head. Stand still, Happy.
I think Chora means business.
He does, and it isn't funny business either.
Be sure to be with us next Saturday for the exciting story, The Search for Asteroid X, when wheat checks, rice checks, and good hot roastin' again bring you Space Patrol! And now, an important message from Commander Buzz Corey.
Did you ever read in the paper about a boy or girl saving somebody's life? Ever wish you could do something like that? Well, you can. Just join my Space Patrol Blood Boosters. Here's what we do. We try to get more people to donate blood to the Red Cross. When you get somebody to donate blood, you save a life. So, boys and girls, join my Space Patrol Blood Boosters today.
Space Patrol, an original Mike Moser production starring Ed Kemmer as Commander Corey and Lynn Osborne as Cadet Happy, was written by Lou Houston and directed by Larry Robertson. Other players were Bela Kovac, Ken Mayer, and Nina Berra. Dick Tufeld speaking. Now, don't forget to tune in next Saturday and every Saturday when Wheat Chex, Rice Chex, and Good Hot Ralston again present the new, exciting Space Patrol. And be sure to see another exciting Space Patrol story on your local ABC television station. Consult your local paper for time and channel. Space Patrol comes to you transcribed from Hollywood. This is ABC Radio Network.